Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Become the Strongest Being in Multiverse Season 1 Part 4. Before we start, please go support John 354 for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. Chapter 66. Issei along with Auden and Azazel were close to reaching their destination. Issei. How long is all this going to last? Auden. We don't know, it could be a little or a lot. Azazel. You relax, everything will be fine. Issei just let out a sigh, and after an hour of travel they reached their destination. As they did so, two layers guided them to where the two leaders were waiting for them. Upon entering the room, Issei was surprised by how big it was, and also that there were two people sitting in front and there were more people on both the right and left. Upon reaching the front, Auden and Azazel bowed, as did Issei only later. Auden. It is an honor to be able to see you, Izanagi Dono and Izanami Dono. Izanagi. I say the same, please take a seat. They both just nodded and took their seats. Issei stood behind them. Izanami. They had a good trip. She told them with a smile. Azazel. That was good, thanks for asking. Izanagi. Well, since we are all gathered, it is time to start this meeting. You know I'm not in favor of this. Izanagi. This is not up for discussion. You should know that it is better to have allies. Izanami. There are more and more enemies. Izanagi. From what I heard, those from Olympus also joined the alliance. Auden. That's right. I hope we can reach an agreement since the Cow's brigade grows every time and they have very powerful allies on their side. Izanagi. I know. Not long ago a group tried to attack us, but they were defeated without much difficulty. That's why I decided to accept his invitation to speak. Azazel. It's better to be united now. Not long ago one of us fought two very powerful evil dragons. Plus they were revived. That means they could bring them back to life. Azazel. That may be. It doesn't matter how many times we defeat them, if they have a method to bring them back we are fighting for nothing. And besides losing good men. Izanami. We did not want to get involved in wars, but after that attack we will not have the option to defend ourselves. Auden. I hope you can help us in the future. I have a question. Izanami. Yes, what happens? Because a human is coming with you. Auden. He is our ally and has helped us on many occasions. But I don't feel anything coming from him like sacred gear or mana reserves. Auden. He possesses none of that. And how has a human helped them if he doesn't own anything? Izanagi. Enough, Susanoo. Susanoo. But it was only the truth that he could help us. Never judge ahead of time, brother. Susanoo. Yes, of course. Izanagi. Leaving that topic, you can go rest and we have your rooms ready. Later we can continue the conversation and make preparations to sign the treaty. Auden. Thank you. Just then two servants arrive and guide them to their rooms. Issei. It's good that you stopped him in time, I felt that sooner or later he would attack me. Azazel. It wouldn't be the opposite. Issei. You're not kidding. Azazel. Maybe, hahaha. After a few minutes of walking they reach their destination. Meanwhile in the room. Izanagi. I hope they don't cause problems. Don't worry, we won't do anything good on my part. Izanami. Thank you. But it's okay to join them. Susanoo. We are strong on our own, plus that human was weak. Yeah. Izanami. Well, you can go, we'll see you later. Those present only nodded and left the room. Issei was in his room and was bored since he had forgotten his cell phone at home and couldn't call the girls. At that he gets up from his bed and leaves his room to explore the place. As he did so, he walked through the hallways until he left a large building and walked through the large courtyard. Issei. Wow, what a nice place. Looking around. He walked for a while until he reached a lake and took a seat on the ground. It's a nice view, isn't it? Issei instinctively looked to the left of her and there was a girl standing looking at the lake as well. Issei. Yes, I like this type of view. At that Issei gets up from the ground. Issei. My name is Issei, a pleasure. Extending her hand. Nice to meet you, Issei, my name is Amaterasu. Taking Issei's hand with a smile. Issei was surprised when he heard her name. Issei. You are the goddess of the sun. Wow, it's a surprise. Amaterasu couldn't help but laugh when she saw her face. Amaterasu. I can tell when I see your face. Issei. Believe it or not, I'm still getting used to this supernatural thing. Amaterasu. How long have you known? Issei. Since I was 10 years old, but I only knew demons and fallen angels. Not long ago I started getting to know the other races. Amaterasu. I see. Tell me you want me to show you around. Issei. If it's not too much trouble. Amaterasu. Of course there is no problem and I have nothing to do. Issei. If so then let's go. At that they both start walking. Amaterasu. If you are here it must be because you are strong. Issei. Ami only asked me to come yesterday. Amaterasu. And you didn't want to come. Issei. Of course. I like to meet new things and new people. Amaterasu. I see. And tell me why you wear gloves. Issei. I have some scars from my training. Some have told me that they could take them away from me, but I prefer to have them since it is the fruit of my work. Amaterasu. I see. They walked and Amaterasu showed her various places. She could always see Issei's surprised face, and she liked that. While they were walking they ran into another person. Sister, I thought you would be training. Amaterasu. I was going to do it, but I'm showing Issei some places. I understand. Issei. My pleasure. I say the same. Oh, and by the way, my name is Tsukiyomi. Issei. Nice to meet you. Giving him a smile. Tsukiyomi. Well, I have nothing to do, how about I accompany you? Issei. I don't have a problem, the more it's more fun. Amaterasu. Sure, let's go. They began to walk, seeing more places. Until they decided to give up by taking a seat on a bench that was in the garden. Issei. It's a quiet place. Tsukiyomi. I'm glad to hear it. I'll go to the kitchen to get something to drink. Amaterasu. I'll go with you. Issei, don't leave here. Issei. Because I feel like you talk to me like I'm a child. Amaterasu. In part you behave like one. She said it with a smile. Issei. Well, I'll wait. At that both girls left the place. Tsukiyomi. He's funny, don't you believe it? Amaterasu. He is also very sincere and is not very respectful. Tsukiyomi. It's true, it's boring to always be treated with so much respect. I want to be treated like anyone else. That's why it was fun to be with him today. Amaterasu. It's rare that you express yourself like that about another person. Tsukiyomi. I can say the same about you, you're always training. Meanwhile Issei had laid down on the bench to watch the sky. Issei. It's been a good day. At that she closed her eyes as there was a very refreshing breeze. Until someone spoke to him. And Issei looked to see who she was. Issei. Hello. Susanoo. None of that. What are you doing here? Issei. Well, I'm waiting for two people. Susanoo. Don't lie. With what permission are you here? Issei. Come on, don't get angry, it's not a big deal. Susanoo, maybe you have no manners and you don't know who I am. Issei. Yes, I know, you are the god of the seas and storms. Susanoo. Then talk to me about, you must know your position. Issei. Soon we will be allies, so there is no problem. Susanoo, already annoyed by his attitude. He gives him a big blow to the face that sends him flying, and Issei ends up crashing into a wall. At that moment the two sisters were arriving and saw how their brother hit Issei, and they worried about what he did. Chapter 67. Both sisters quickly went to Susanoo. Amaterasu. Maybe you're crazy, you know what you just did. Susanoo. Just tell me about an ant that had no right to be in this place. Tsukiyomi. You don't have the right to do that, you know what you just did could cause. Susanoo. Well, everything is done. Amaterasu was going to speak, but she heard some rubble moving, and the three saw Issei leave as if nothing had happened. Issei. That was dangerous, you know, someone could have gotten hurt. Both sisters were surprised that he was okay, and Susanoo was upset. Tsukiyomi. How are you alive? Since Susanoo has great strength and she is one of the strongest here. Issei. Maybe I was lucky. Giving her a smile and scratching the back of her head. Susanoo. I was very soft. This time I will have no mercy for you. Moving at great speed. Both sisters wanted to stop him, but they wouldn't arrive in time. When Susanoo was about to hit Issei, he stopped her fist with her hand. The three brothers were shocked by what Issei did. Susanoo wanted to get out of his grip, but she couldn't. At that she looked up from her and saw Issei's cold and serious look. Issei. Stop playing games, I don't want to have to fight over anything. Susanoo. And you think I'll listen to you? Using his other fist he wanted to hit Issei, but he stopped his punch. At that Issei pulled him a little closer and tightened his grip on him, making Susanoo moan in pain. Amaterasu and Tsukiyomi were surprised at what was happening. That's when Izanagi and Izanami arrived along with Auden and Azazel and other people. And they were surprised by what they saw. Izanagi. Amaterasu, what's going on here? Amaterasu. Well, Susanoo attacked him out of nowhere and well, he stopped his attack. Tsukiyomi. But how is that possible? The truth is Susanoo is very strong, how come she stopped him that easily? Auden. Believe it or not, Issei is very strong and he has defeated most of our strongest enemies. Izanami. How did I get to have such strength? Auden. He trained for years without stopping and thus he became so strong. Azazel. Plus that boy can wipe out an army on his own. Izanagi. You don't think that's much? Auden. It's true that he only killed an army of frost giants and there were thousands of them. And he also fought with Ares and defeated him. That was surprising since they knew how strong he was. Tsukiyomi. So what do we do now? Azazel. We have to stop this if a battle can't happen. Amaterasu. I'll take care of it. Without waiting for a response he began to walk towards where they were both. Amaterasu. Issei, could you please let him go? At that Issei looks at Amaterasu, and when she saw her look she got scared and Issei noticed that and changed his expression and let go of Susanoo. Issei. I'm sorry. Turning around and leaving the place. Amaterasu tried to talk to him, but Issei had already left the place. The others saw everything and went to where Amaterasu and Susanoo were. Izanami. Susanoo, what did I tell you about looking for problems? Susanoo. He has no respect for people. Auden. He never cared about people's titles anymore. Tsukiyomi. But because he left so quickly. You know something? Auden. Maybe it's because Amaterasu Dono was scared when she saw his face. Amaterasu. It was only for a moment that he surprised me since early on I saw him smiling. Azazel. Leave him alone for a while. Annoyed Susanoo got up from the spot and leaving Izanagi tried to stop him, but he couldn't. Those present took their way to a room to chat. Izanagi. What can you tell us about that boy? Auden. Leaving out how strong he is, believe it or not, he is someone who is sensitive. Tsukiyomi. Insensitive, because. Auden. His family never wanted him. And he only has his friends. Tsukiyomi. I see. But because they don't want it. Azazel. He has 2 brothers and well, they were born with power and Issei was born with nothing, that's why. Amaterasu. But now. Azazel. All that power he has was earned with a lot of effort. Auden. You've already noticed how cheerful his attitude is. Tsukiyomi. Yes, he is very happy and fun. Auden. I know that having such a calm attitude has made great friendships. Amaterasu. Like who? Auden. Like Officer Roberts, also the goddess Nyx, the yokai leader among others, the truth is it is a great list. Amaterasu. Wow, they are people besides Office getting along with someone. Azazel. Well, that took us all by surprise too, hahaha. They want to see some of his fights. The 2 sisters nodded. Azazel shows them a hologram where he fights Hero and everyone notices how he defeated him the first time. And how he defeated him the second time. And finally his battle against the giants. Everyone was more surprised by the last one since he fought for days alone. Auden. That boy earned the respect of many people. He is also very loved by the citizens. Tsukiyomi. Wow, now I understand why he came with you. Izanagi. He is someone very strong and at such a young age. Amaterasu. Yes, I can already imagine the achievements he will have in the future. Tsukiyomi. Wait, talking about that. To be highly sought after by his enemies. Auden. Believe it or not, almost no one knows about Issei. Since he always kills everyone on his missions and he doesn't leave anyone alive. Izanami. I see. His partner must be very happy to have a very strong man at his side. Auden. The truth is he doesn't have a partner. Izanami. How is that possible? He has everything he needs. He is handsome, strong, kind and charismatic. Auden. It's not that he doesn't have one, it's just that he doesn't confirm it since, well, many people love him and the truth is that it even makes me envious, hahaha. Not so Azazel. Azazel. How can we not send him if Gabriel wants him? Izanagi. You talk about the Archangel Gabriel, the most beautiful woman in heaven. How is that possible? Azazel. That boy always achieves the impossible. In addition to that he is also engaged to the yokai leader and her daughter since he saved Princess Kunu from getting married. Izanagi. Hahaha, how lucky he is. So that the most beautiful women wanted. Auden. And the list is very long. Tsukiyomi. But he doesn't brag about it. Auden. Issei is very humble and no girl has confessed to him, exactly Yasaka Dono and Kunu Dono who marked him, hahaha. Izanagi. And how do you know all this? Azazel. Serafal tells us after the meetings he is excited to talk about Issei. Izanagi. Wait, she too. Auden. I told you only beautiful women. If I tell you the rest you might faint, hahaha. Izanagi insisted him to tell him and Auden with a small smile and told him the girls' names. And when he finished he saw Izanagi's shocked face. Auden could only laugh when he saw her expression. Izanami. Wow, I didn't expect that. Amaterasu. Same with me. Most of them are just household names. Azazel. You see, some are very jealous of Issei's luck but they can't do anything to him since they know of her power. Tsukiyomi. Those girls are lucky. They talked for a while longer and it got late and everyone went to her room so that the next day they could sign the treaty and they could both help each other. Chapter 68. It was a new day and everyone was having breakfast except for Issei. Izanagi. Her partner is a heavy sleeper. Azazel. Well, that's strange really since he's one of the people who gets up early. Auden. Maybe it's because he doesn't want to have problems with you. Izanami. With us. Auden. Because of what happened yesterday. Maybe he thinks you're mad at him. Izanagi. Maybe it's because of that, but if they see him they tell him that it's not his fault. He just defended himself. Meanwhile Issei was at the lake again, he liked that place, rather he liked all quiet places. Out of nowhere I heard the voice of an acquaintance. Tsukiyomi. So here you were. Issei. Something's wrong. Tsukiyomi. Well, I would tell myself to have breakfast with the others, but I saw you here. Maybe you won't go. Issei. I had breakfast early and I don't want to cause any more problems. Tsukiyomi understood what he meant and took a seat near Issei. Tsukiyomi. Issei, you are not to blame for what happened yesterday. It's all Susanoo's fault, he caused everything. Issei. Still. Besides, Amaterasu was scared when she saw me like that yesterday, I noticed it. Letting out a sigh. Tsukiyomi was going to answer him, but they beat him to it. Amaterasu. I was a little scared, but because of the surprise, so don't think about it. Both people turned around to see Amaterasu there with a half smile. Issei. I see. Amaterasu. Don't blame yourself for yesterday. Plus no one is upset with you. And also you just defended yourself. Tsukiyomi. I'm partly happy about what you did to Susanoo because finally someone was able to stop him. Issei. Well, the truth is I'm glad to know that they don't hate him. Amaterasu. And I hate you and you're so funny. Tsukiyomi. So today we will also go and have fun, okay? Issei just nodded with a smile. And he got up from the spot after that, he helped Tsukiyomi get up and the three of them went on their way. While they were doing it they talked a little until Issei heard a melody. Issei. How cool. Amaterasu. I know. We will take you so you can meet her. Issei. It won't be a bother. Amaterasu. She doesn't like meeting new people at all and she will be happy to know that you like her music. Issei just nodded and the three of them went to the place. When they arrived they were still playing the melody until the person saw them and stopped. What brings them here so early and who is the person accompanying them? Tsukiyomi. We were showing her new places and her name is Issei. Issei. My pleasure. I say the same and my name is Benzaten. Benzaten. And what brings them here? Amaterasu. While we were walking we heard your melody and Issei wanted to know its origin. Benzaten. I see and tell me what you thought. Issei. She is very relaxing and beautiful. Benzaten. Thanks for the words. Issei. I'm just telling the truth. Benzaten. And what are you doing as a guide since, well, it's the first time I've seen you do something like that. Tsukiyomi. There is nothing to do. And it's boring to be in meetings with the rest. Benzaten. I had forgotten that some people were coming to sign a treaty. Amaterasu. You're always late with some things. Benzaten. I know, so you come for that treaty for an alliance. Issei. Yes, with 2 other people, but I get bored with meetings so I prefer to wait outside the room. Amaterasu. Well, see you. We have a lot to do. Benzaten just nodded with a smile and the 3 people left the place. After a few hours they were called by their leaders as everything was done. Azazel. You had fun. Issei. The truth is, it is a very cool place. Azazel. While you were doing it we were here. You had to be here too. Issei. You know that meetings bore me. I'm someone more of an action guy. Azazel. I know and I'm more into inventing things. Issei. And when we leave. Azazel. Tomorrow today they will have a feast to celebrate the alliance. Issei just nodded and left the place walking one last time in the gardens. Tsukiyomi. Issei, you are going to the party. Issei. Yes, since I have nothing better to do. Tsukiyomi. Great, I hope you have fun. Issei. I always do, ha 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 ha. Tsukiyomi just put on a smile since he liked Issei because of her way of being. Tsukiyomi. Do you want to go see how Amaterasu trains? Issei. Of course, since as you know I have nothing better to do. Tsukiyomi. Okay, let's go. They walked for a few minutes until they reached a training room and there was Amaterasu training alone. Issei without wasting time approached her. Amaterasu instinctively attacked Issei with his sword. Tsukiyomi was scared since he was using a real sword. But Issei just took it. Issei. You should be more careful. Amaterasu. Sorry, I also moved on instinct. Issei. Okay. You are very good. Amaterasu. Thank you and tell me you want to train with me. Issei. You would beat me without much difficulty. Tsukiyomi. You're joking, right? If you stopped Susanoo's fist without much difficulty. Issei. That was luck. Amaterasu. Issei, don't tell lies. Because you don't accept that you are strong. Issei. Sooner or later I won't be able to defend someone, I still have a long way to go. Both sisters looked at each other and then smiled at Issei. Tsukiyomi. I understand also we found out something. Issei. And that would be. Tsukiyomi. That you are engaged to the Yakai leader and her daughter. Issei. Yes, everything happened quickly, but I like them and I love them. Amaterasu. I'm happy for them since you are a great person. Issei. Thank you. I like you too, I like meeting new people. Tsukiyomi. That's good. Issei. Now that I think about it, I haven't met their partners yet, maybe I've taken up a lot of their time. Amaterasu. We don't have a partner. Issei. And that. You are cute as well as strong and fun. Tsukiyomi. Thanks for the compliment, but let's leave that topic out. Issei. Sure. At that moment some soldiers entered the training room and saw the two girls and Issei calmly. One of the soldiers was upset to see him since she liked Amaterasu and had never smiled at him. Already annoyed, he approached them with a half smile at the group. Soldier 1. Good afternoon Amaterasu-sama and Tsukiyomi-sama. Amaterasu. Hello Latsu, how are you? Latsu. Good. And she has a companion for tonight's party. Amaterasu. I'll go with Issei. She looks at Issei and he understood so he just nodded. Latsu annoyed but he didn't show it. Latsu. No offense, but he's no match for him from what I see he's just a human. Amaterasu. Even if you say that, he offends me since he is my friend and I won't let you insult him. Latsu. I'm just telling the truth. Besides, you know how I feel about you. And I do not accept that this human is next to you. Amaterasu. And you should know that he's not interested in you. So let's leave this discussion here and go. Latsu turns around and looks seriously at Issei and becomes more upset when he sees her face. Without wasting any more time she moved quickly and she wanted to hit Issei. The two sisters were surprised to see what he was going to do. When she was about to hit Issei kicked her causing Latsu to fall to the ground. The other soldiers were surprised to see that as were the two sisters. Latsu got up from the ground and tried to hit him, but Issei stopped his attack and sent him flying away. Issei. Hey, I haven't given you anything to make you try to hit me. Latsu. This won't stay like this. You will pay me inferior human. Amaterasu. Enough, Latsu. If you do such nonsense again you will make me angry and want to see me like this. Tsukiyomi. Issei is our friend. And I won't let you bother him. Latsu. Because they defend him if he is just a human who will sooner or later die since they are weak. Amaterasu. Yes, but he beat you without much difficulty and you didn't even touch him. We better get out of here. Guys, let's go. Issei and Tsukiyomi just nodded and left the place leaving Latsu upset as he clenched his fists. Issei. I got into more trouble, I'm sorry. Amaterasu. Leave it at the beginning of all that. Plus I was surprised to see how good you are at fighting. Issei. I had to learn everything to survive. Tsukiyomi. You are good and great. Issei just smiled at her and they continued on their way until night came and it was time for the party. Chapter 69. Issei along with the two sisters were at the party since the alliance treaty had been signed and the three were at the buffet. Issei. The food is very good. Tsukiyomi. I'm glad to know, I'll tell the cooks. Amaterasu. Tomorrow you return home. Issei. Yes, but we will be in contact, okay? They both just nodded. In the distance, an upset man watched everything as he watched his beloved smile at a simple human. Soldier. Latsu-sama, what do you want us to do with him? Latsu. For now, nothing, I already have a plan, it's just waiting. Putting on a big smile. About half an hour passed and Latsu began to walk towards the group. Latsu. Good evening Amaterasu-sama and Tsukiyomi-sama. They both just nodded at him with a neutral face since they had not forgiven him for what happened before. Amaterasu. Something is offered to you Latsu. Latsu. I just want to make an announcement. Amaterasu just raised an eyebrow at what he said. At that Latsu caught everyone's attention and those present stopped doing their thing and looked at where he was. Latsu. Izanagi-sama I need a favor. Izanagi. What do you want? Latsu. I want you to give me permission to be with Amaterasu-sama, I have always loved her. For some this information was not unusual, but for others it was. Amaterasu was a little surprised to hear that. Izanagi. You should know that I don't decide anything about her. So the answer you expect depends on her. Latsu just gave him a fake smile and nodded since his plan hadn't worked. Latsu. Can Amaterasu-sama give me the chance? Amaterasu. Sorry but I don't feel the same way about you. I hope you understand. Latsu. He rejects me because that human is present. Amaterasu. What does Issei have to do with this? Latsu. Since he arrived here you changed. Amaterasu. I haven't changed anything and I've never felt anything for you so stop this now. Latsu could only clench his fists in frustration and looked at Issei. Latsu. It's all your fault, you bucking human. Issei just listened since he was used to hearing those words. Latsu. Damn you think you're a big deal just for being strong. You don't know how hard one has to work to go far. And that's when you arrive bragging about how strong you are. Issei. What do you know about me? He said it calmly. Issei. You think I don't train too to get where I am? I trained day and night, I suffered every day. I broke my bones a few times and you say I didn't do anything. Latsu. Yes, of course. Nobody believes such nonsense. Some were just murmuring and Issei just let out a sigh and he wanted to end the discussion. Issei. You better go, I'm already tired. Latsu. Maybe you're scared. Even if you are strong, there is something that you don't have. Issei. And that would be. Latsu. That you won't live long. Not like us who can live thousands of years. Issei. What's the point of living so long if you're alone? What would be the purpose of living so long, tell me? Latsu. Enjoy beautiful women. Issei. So you want to be with Amaterasu just because of her beauty. Wow, you're superficial. Tsukiyomi just laughed a little at the comment. And Latsu just got upset. Latsu. In Kwesi I've been with beautiful women not like you. Only a stupid ugly woman can love you. Auden and Azazel only let out a sigh, they already knew what was coming, since they knew that he did not like his companions being insulted. At that Issei grabs Latsu's head and smashes him into the wall, leaving him embedded there. Some were shocked to see that, since they noticed that Latsu was knocked unconscious by the blow. An annoyed soldier quickly went at Issei. But Issei without much difficulty grabbed him and hit him on the head many times until it was destroyed. Some were scared when they saw that. Soldier. You're crazy, you know what you just did. It's against the rules to do that. So we must kill you. Gathering several men and going on the attack. Issei was just standing there waiting and seconds later the soldiers began to arrive. Issei was a little upset so with one hit he killed everything that came close to him. Izanagi. Enough of this. What right do you have to make this decision while I am here? Soldier. But Izanagi-sama you know what that human did. Izanami. He just defended himself. So all of you will be punished for doing such a thing in my presence. He called his most loyal hideouts and took the soldiers away. Issei walked a little towards them and bowed. Issei. I apologize for what I did to your soldiers. Izanagi. It's okay and it was their fault. You just defended yourself. Issei. Thank you. Then he left me. Taking the road to the exit. Tsukiyomi. It's kind of scary to see him this upset. Amaterasu. You're right, I haven't felt that way in a while. Tsukiyomi just nodded. The night ended well, not for everyone. The next day the three were ready to leave. The two leaders were saying goodbye to the other two. Issei was in front of the two sisters. Issei. I would say these were good days, but they caused so many problems hahaha. Amaterasu. For me, they were good days since I hadn't talked to someone so much in a while. Tsukiyomi. If that's the case, come back, tell us and we'll give you a tour. Issei. Thank you and tell me you are going, tell me so I will gladly receive you. At that Issei approached each one and gave them a hug and then a smile. After a few minutes the three had left the place. Amaterasu. It'll be boring now that he won't be here. Tsukiyomi. You're right. Maybe we'll see him again soon. Hours passed and the group was about to reach their destination. Azazel. It's good that we finally made it. Auden. Yes, it's good that they are good people. Azazel. Even so, Issei, how do you get along with such beautiful women, what is your secret? Issei. Ninguno. Just be yourself and sincere. Azazel. You are very lucky. Issei just laughed a little and after a while they reached their destination where the other leaders were. When Serafal arrived with Yusaka they gave Issei a welcome hug since they had not seen him in a while. Issei. How did it go for both of you? Serafal. It's been very boring when you're not with us. Issei just gave her a smile. After a few minutes they gave their report and when they found out what Issei did they watched everything. And Issei for his part just smiled. Yusaka. You always do great things when you go somewhere. Issei. It's not my fault. But in the end everything turned out well. They talked for a while longer until they said goodbye and everyone left. When Issei arrived at the house he was greeted by some hugs. Lefei. How did it go? Issei told them everything that happened. Roswis. Always the same. Issei. I'm sorry. Ingvald. We know you're not doing it out of bad intentions. Hiroka. It was boring if you weren't here. So now that you are what you want to do. Issei. Don't decide for yourself. I'll be happy with whatever they plan. Also why not smile office? Office. I don't know how. Issei. It's easy. Just do this. Smiling at Office but she didn't understand. Then Issei used his hands to make a smile. Office imitated him and Issei laughed a little when he saw what he did. Issei. Keep it up. You will do it. They talked for a while and then went out to have a little fun since many problems await them later. Chapter 70. A few days had passed since Issei returned from the meeting with the Japanese gods and during that time he spent time having fun with the other girls. Irina. In the end you don't even go to the academy. Issei. Yes but you know I don't have that much good time, not until now. Ingvald. Since you're not going, I won't go either. In the end, there's no need. Alicia. I told you it was going to be boring. Ingvald. I know. Issei. Well let's leave that topic. Besides, you guys will soon have to go on a mission. Alicia. They are very boring. Issei. I wish you luck and don't cause problems. Alicia. I don't promise anything. At that, the girls present teleported to go on their mission. While Issei stayed in the room until seconds later a group arrived. Lefei. Where the others are. Issei. Not long ago they went on a mission. Hiroka. I wanted to bother you a little. Issei. Don't do that. Office. And what are you doing here? Issei. I have nothing to do for now. Lefei. How about we go to the cinema, there is a very interesting horror movie from what I read. Issei. I would love to, but those things scare you. Leffe. That's a lie. Issei. When we went to see Annabelle you didn't let go of me all day. Leffe. I noticed you were afraid so that's why I did it. Looking away and Issei just put on a smile seeing how cute she looked like that. Issei. Well, let's go and Kuroka, will you go or are you afraid? Kuroka. I've seen worse things, a movie won't do anything to me. Issei. I see in your office. Office. Okay, I don't want to be alone here. Leffe. Then let's go. Going to the door like the rest. After a few minutes they reached their destination and bought their tickets and watched the 3D movie. Issei. It will be great. Kuroka. Yes. That's where the movie began. Half an hour passed and Leffe was holding Issei's arm very tightly since she is afraid. On Kuroka's part she was a little afraid and became more attached to Issei. On Office's part she was calm since she did not understand anything. When they left it was already late and they decided to go to dinner. Issei. It was great, maybe in the future I will have another part. Leffe. It wasn't bad. Issei. Seriously. While she looked at how she still had him on her arm. Leffe. It's so you don't get lost. Issei. Okay. Deciding to play along. Issei. You guys like me. Office. It was interesting. Kuroka. It was more than expected, but I liked it. After dinner they decided to return home. As they did so they noticed a magic circle where Serafal came from. Issei. Something's wrong. Serafal. Yes you can come. Issei. Sure and you? Leffe. Sure, let's go. Kuroka. It's better than standing here doing nothing. Office just nodded. At that everyone went to the underworld where the leaders were and now including Izanagi. Issei greeted him upon seeing him. Auden. We know it's a little late but we need you to do something. Issei. Of course, if it's in my hands, I'll do my best. Surzich. Then watch this. Putting a hologram where Dragon Albion appeared. Issei. What does it mean? Bajuka. Those two dragons are still being observed in England. Leffe was surprised to know that. Isaka. They must be some imposters since it's good for you to know that they are sealing now. Issei. I know. Azazel. We want you to go there and investigate what's going on. Issei. I understand, okay, I'll go. Leffe. I can go with him. Surzich. Thank you, we were still going to ask you since you're from there. Izanagi. Someone from me is going to accompany you on your trip. Issei. Okay and where will we meet? Izanagi. She is already in England so they will meet there. Issei. Okay and when will we leave? Serafal. The faster the better since they are causing many disasters. Issei. Okay. Leffe you take me. She just nodded and changed her outfit into that of a witch. Issei. Wait before we go. How is she the person we are going to meet? Izanagi. It won't be very difficult for you to identify and I wish you luck, she has a bit of a bad character. Issei. Okay. See you later. Leaving the place with Leffe. When they arrived they appeared in a large mansion. Issei. And where we are. Leffe. In my house. But hey, we have to look for that person first so we can update them on what she has found. Issei. And where do we start? Leffe. Let's go to the place where the photo of the dragons was taken, maybe there will be a clue there. Issei just nodded and they both left the place. After a few hours of searching they managed to arrive. And they were surprised to see a person there. Issei. Hello, you must be the person Izanagi was talking about. Yeah. Issei. I see how pleased it is. Look, I don't care what your name is, I don't like working with someone. I like to work alone, but I didn't have a choice this time. Leffe. And as we will tell you when we are fighting. The girl just clicked her tongue since that bothered her. I'm Shishioka Yukin. Leffe. Nice to meet you Yukin-sama. My name is Leffe Pendragon. Issei. My name is Issei. Yukin. Whatever. Issei. And you have discovered something. Yukin. No. Was his simple response. Issei. It's okay, thank you. Lefse, I'll go and vent a little, we'll see you at night. Leffe just nodded and gave Issei a hug. After that she left, leaving the two women alone. Leffe, for her part, feels somewhat uncomfortable because of how serious Yukin looked. So she better take out a book and start reading. They stayed like that for a moment until Yukin remembered how she got there. Flashback. Izanagi. Yukin, you will have a very important mission. Yukin. Great. Izanagi. But you won't go alone, 2 people will go with you, well the truth is I don't know how many you will go. Yukin. You know that I don't like fighting with people because they are a hindrance. Izanagi. That's it. I know you are strong, but these enemies are not easy to deal with. Yukin. Fine whatever you say. At that point she was about to leave until they stopped her. Izanagi. And one more thing. Yukin. What would it be? Izanagi. One of the people who will go with you is called Issei. Be careful with him. He can be kind and tough, but if you bother him his mood is very different. Yukin didn't care and she left the place. End of flashback. Yukin thoughts. Take care of him. From what I see he is a simple human, I don't feel any magic or sacred gear from him. Appearances can be deceiving, be careful. Yukin. Come on, Abyssing could take him down with a simple movement. I don't know why they sent him. Maybe they got tired of him. Abyssing just let out a sigh and decided not to respond. The afternoon passed and night came, and Issei was returning to the place where her companions were. Lefei. How did it go? Issei. I didn't find anything, maybe they left here. Lefei. Maybe, but because they decided to attack here there must be a reason. Issei. Yes, that's why you have to be aware of what happens. Lefei only nodded. Yukin for the part she stayed away from both of them, but she still listened to what she said. Chapter 71. The three searched in various places at various times. There was a bit of silence, since Yukin did not want to talk to anyone. Issei. It hasn't appeared yet. What's happening? Lefei. What will they have in mind? It was already night and the small group decided to rest so they could continue the next day. Issei. I'll go call the others to see how they're doing. Lefei. You give them my regards. Issei just nodded and left the place. The night was quiet. Yukin still didn't speak to them both. While they continued searching, the three heard a loud roar and without wasting time they went at great speed towards the place. Yukin was a little surprised and she saw how Issei followed her speed. When they arrived at the place they saw two large dragons, one red and the other white. Issei. This won't be so easy from what I see. Lefei. I know. Abyssing. Be careful, those two dragons are not in their right minds, they are pure massive power. Issei. Then you have no sense of direction. Abyssing. So someone must be controlling them. Issei. I see. Well, you go for the bank and I'll go for the red one. I wish you luck. Lefei. I say the same thing. At that Issei went into the fight at great speed. Yukin. Your friend is crazy. Even you know that those two dragons are at a higher level than a dragon king. Lefei. I know but I trust Issei. Yukin was going to respond but she heard a loud roar and she saw how the fake drag flew out of the place. Yukin this time she was completely surprised since she couldn't believe it. And Lefei, seeing that, couldn't help but laugh a little. Lefei. Well it's our turn too. Going to the place. Yukin, without any other option, went with her. Meanwhile Issei went to the place and noticed how the dragon gave him a big blow with its tail that returned him to the starting place and saw how both girls fought with the fake Albion. Seconds later the false drag arrived and Issei could notice how she was regenerating. Issei. This won't be so easy. At that the dragon spits a lot of fire in Issei's direction. Lefei was a little scared when she saw that since she noticed the strength of those flames. Lefei. Issei, be careful. Issei for his part just gave her a smile and received the attack squarely. Yukin. How stupid. Lefei was going to answer but she heard some footsteps and those were Issei who was coming out of the fire as if nothing had happened with a half smile. Issei. It was warm. Both Yukin and Abyssing were shocked by what they saw. Abyssing. What is that human made of? Since those flames were dangerous, even you would have had difficulties. Yukin. I can't deny it to you. Issei. Lefei trust me. Your fight with everything. Lefei. Okay and don't scare me like that. Issei. Lefei, before continuing, please give me the sword. She just nodded and took it out of a pocket dimension and threw it at him. Then she went on the attack without any further worries. Issei. We've been looking for them for a few days, I have to finish this quickly so I can go home. Taking the sword out of the sheath and going to the attack. Lefei. Yukin-sama, you don't have to use so much force since as you can see, she has great self-regeneration. Yukin. I know then how we killed them. Lefei. The only way to have them is to kill their creator. But I can't feel any aura around. Yukin. Me too. Then what do we do? Lefei. Only attack until he can no longer regenerate. Yukin just nodded and went on the attack. Issei, for her part, along with his strength, cut off some parts of the dragon's body without much difficulty. But he wasn't much use as he regenerated very quickly. Issei. What can I do? Dodging a blow while she thought about what to do. Issei. Maybe that will work. Wait. Putting her sword away and starting to run towards the fake drag when she was close to her, he caught her fist making a big blow. Destroying everything in its path causing a great blizzard. Both girls, feeling such a tremor, looked at Issei and saw a big disaster. But they were more surprised to not see the other dragon. Lefei. Issei, what did you do? For her part, Issei laughed a little and scratched the back of his head. Issei. I didn't think it would work, but I used some force and well I completely destroyed everything so that it couldn't regenerate. Lefei's eyes were wide as she surprised him to know that. Since she was not at all used to the surprises that Issei could give. Yukin for her part remembered when Izanagi told her to be careful with Issei and now she knows why. Issei. Well, we have to continue, there is still one left. They both just nodded. But before one of the three moved, the fake Albion left the place. Issei. Well, he left. We just have to wait for it to appear again. But before that, Lefei, can I ask you a favor? Lefei? If it's in my hands, of course. Issei. You could repair all this. Seeing the mess it caused. Lefei just laughed a little and nodded and fixed everything. After that, the group stayed in that place to rest and wait. Yukin thoughts, how do I get to that level? That's impossible. Abyssing. I told you appearances can be deceiving. Yukin. But you noticed that he came out of those flames unscathed. Abyssing. We don't know what kind of training he had, but it must have been very hard. They both stopped talking and Abyssing curious what he was asked. Abyssing. Hey boy, can I ask you a question? Issei. Sure. Abyssing. How did you become so strong? I don't feel any sacred gear or magical reserves. Issei. I just trained since I was a child. Yukin. You're not kidding me. No human can reach that level. Issei. If you set your mind to something you can go far. Maybe you were born strong. Yukin. Of course not. Train a long time. But I had ability and you didn't. Issei. Just because I don't have anything special doesn't mean I can learn anything. You know how difficult it was for me when my brothers were born with great abilities and I was born with nothing. I had to fight to get to where I am. You know I fight for my friends, but now I fight for something else. Abyssing. And that would be. Issei. When a person has someone he really wants to protect, then he becomes genuinely strong. I fight to protect those people who trust me like Lefei. I would give my life for them. Lefei had a smile on his face as he noticed how important it was to him. Without caring about anything, I take his hand. Abyssing. I see. But you must know that sooner or later you will die since you are a human and you will not be able to live long. I estimate a maximum of 20 more years. Afterwards you will be a little older and without as much strength. Issei. Then in that time I must end this stupid war. Abyssing. Because you don't become a demon or an angel or a dragon. Issei. I got to where I am through my efforts, not through gifts. Nothing is free in life, everything has a cost. Abyssing. I see. I like you boy because you think very differently from other people I have met over time. Issei. Thank you. Putting on a smile. Yukin remained silent listening to everything and she was a little surprised by what Issei was saying. In the end a small smile formed on her face as she began to like Issei. Chapter 72. 2 days had passed and there was still no sign of the fake Albion. Lefei. Maybe in the end he won't come back. Issei. That may be the case, but we can't leave, we will have to wait a few days and if he doesn't appear we will leave here. Lefei. I am in favor. Yukin. Okay. While they were walking looking for a tray, someone spoke to them and one person recognized that voice. Yukin. What are you doing here, Lucina? Lucina. I was bored and I went out to explore for a while and what a surprise I got. Issei. Excuse me Yukin, but who is she? Yukin. Someone very annoying but she is strong. Lucina. I see that you finally made friends, but you couldn't look for better ones, a weak magician and a filthy human. Issei. Wow, what a language it has. Lefei. Yes, it is very ugly. Lucina. Well, I'll let you two surprise more. My name is Lucina Luficer. Lucina expected a big reaction from both of them, but they were both calm. Lucina. What's wrong? Issei. Well, it surprises me a little, but I've seen worse things than just a name. Plus I feel like you're like a person. Lefei. She is related to Vali. Issei. Oh, that's it. Lucina. Don't show me up with that weakling. Issei. If they are the same, they have the same attitude. How could you live with Lefei for so long? Lefei. Over time you get used to that. Or better not pay attention to him, that's all. Lucina was upset since she was completely ignorant and to further bother some weaklings. Issei. Excuse me but we're busy so we'll go. Have a nice day. Lucina. Do you think I'll let them go so easily? Especially now that you have insulted me. Issei. I haven't insulted you and I don't have problems with you. Lucina. I'll kill your two first and then Yukin. Lefei. Yukin-sama, what abilities does she possess? Since you know her. Yukin. She possesses an artificial longinus with both the abilities of the celestial dragon Drake and Albion. She is also very skilled with magic in hand-to-hand combat. Lefei. So she is very strong. Yukin. Yes, the last time we fought we ended up in a draw. Issei. There are more and more problems. Lucina. They just said goodbye. Well, which of the two do I start with? Putting a smile on her face. Lucina. I'll go against the magician so I can see her desperate face when she dies. Don't worry, you will be able to see the horror on her face. At that she starts to laugh, but one person was not very happy to hear that and she stepped forward. Without wasting time, Lucina moved at great speed when she saw someone approaching her. She barely managed to cross her arms to be able to defend herself against her, but it didn't help much since Issei had broken one of her arms. Lucina was crashed into some trees. Lucina. Damn, leave yourself for dead. While she healed her arm, but she was a little surprised by Issei's strength. When she finished healing she got up and activated her armor between white and red and she went to the attack. When she was about to hit him in the face Issei took her arm without much difficulty. Issei, because he was so upset, put more pressure on his hasier, causing his armor to crack. Lucina could barely resist not screaming since she was hurting. She was about to hit Issei with her other arm, but Issei beat her to it by landing a big blow on her stomach, making Lucina spit blood through her helmet. She then let go of her, grabbed her and gave her another blow to the stomach that sent her flying into the sky. Issei took a big leap from her appearing close to her and gave her another kick, but he sends her crashing to the ground. Lucina. Damn how you are so strong. Issei had already fallen to the ground again and went to her. Issei. You know, you can insult me all you want and the truth is I wouldn't care, but what I can't stand is that you insult someone very precious to me. Started walking. Lucina was barely getting up since she had several broken ribs. Lucina. Don't believe it's such a big deal, human. This time you will pay me. Going at great speed towards Issei. Hitting her face she was happy because she hit him, but her smile didn't last long as she noticed that Issei didn't even move from her position and her face just a little. At that Issei sees her again with a serious look and returns her blow, causing her helmet to be completely destroyed. Annoyed as she was, she went on the attack again. But this time Issei stopped her blow with just 2 fingers. Issei. If I'm weak then you are. Lucina was upset to hear that since they were calling her weak too. She was going to answer, but Issei took a step back. Issei. You give up. Lucina. I never will. I am a Luficer and I will never give up. She shouted it at him. Issei. And what does a last name have to do with it? It's just a meaningless thing. Lucina. Maybe you're an idiot, you don't know the reputation that last name has. Issei. A little but he doesn't really care. Let her go. Lucina. Maybe you feel sorry for me or maybe you can't kill me because I'm a woman. Issei walked towards her and grabbed both of her arms and broke them. Lucina for her part could only scream as loud as she could. Both Lefei and Yukon heard such a cry of pain. Issei. What does it have to do with you being a woman? Just knowing that you are my enemy is enough. And I just showed it to you. But I won't kill you because you haven't done anything bad to me like the others. At that Issei approaches her and looks up from her since he had her eyes down. Lucina could only see empty eyes and that scared her. And she had never been afraid less of Rizavam. Issei. But if you approach someone I know I will have no mercy on you. I will make you suffer so much that you will wish you were dead. But you know I wouldn't let you die so easily. Although you may not believe it, I am someone who is a bit resentful. I can forgive once, maybe a second time, but a third time, that is impossible. Lucina was afraid since she felt that those words could be fulfilled. Seconds later Issei returned to his usual look and gave Lucina a smile. Issei. Well I hope I don't see you in such circumstances. Have a nice day. Started walking. But Lucina spoke with a little strength she had since she still felt that fear. Lucina. What are you? Issei. You said it recently, I'm only human. Lucina. You lie, a human cannot reach such a level, let alone release such murderous pressure. Because you defend her so much. Issei. Because she, like the others, is the only thing I have. Since I never had a family. Lucina, so tired she was, barely managed to hear the last thing, and she fainted. Issei didn't take much notice of it and she left the place. After 2 minutes of walking I arrived with the other two. And they both noticed that she did not have any injuries. Lefei. Issei, what happened to her? We heard a scream maybe you killed her. Issei. Of course not. After that she left. Yukon. How could you face him so easily? Even I have difficulties keeping up with her. Issei. Lucky maybe. Yukon. I wish I was as strong as you. Issei. You know what's the way to be so strong. Yukon. Which one? Issei. You train to protect someone. If you don't have a purpose, what's the point of being so strong? But well leaving that topic, how about we get out of here? Yukon. Wait before that I have something to say. Issei. Yes. Yukon. I want to apologize for my attitude at the beginning. Issei. Okay, no problem. Yukon. Yes there is. I despised you. Issei. Leave it like that. Believe it or not, it always happens to me. How about we start again? Understanding his hand. Issei. My name is Issei, a pleasure. Yukon just smiled at his attitude but still accepted and took his hand. Yukon. It's a pleasure, Yukon, I hope we get along well. After that the three headed off. Half an hour later Lucina was waking up and thanks to her demon blood, some of her wounds were already healed, but the pain was still there. Lucina. Issei. I'll see you sooner than expected. Teleporting from the place. Chapter 73. A few more days had already passed since the meeting with Lucina. Issei. I think she won't appear again. It's better to go back. We've been here for more than a week. Lefei. It's the longest mission you've ever had. Issei. Maybe I don't keep track of how many days it takes me. And what do you say to me, Yukin, we're leaving. Yukin? It would be the best and there are better things to do. Lefei? Yes, then this is the farewell. Yukin? That's right. At first it was bad, but I had fun in the end talking to you. Issei. When you have time you can go see us. Yukin just gave him a smile and walked up to Issei and gave him a hug and a kiss on the cheek. Yukin? It will be sooner than you think. After that she went in a magic circle. Lefei? Then we're leaving too. Issei? Sure. We need to take a good bath, although I'm not complaining, the water in the lake was very good. Lefei? Maybe for you. But for us it was very different. Issei just laughed a little and then Lefei created a magic circle teleporting them both to his house. When we got there, most of them were gathered. And when they saw Issei they went and gave him a hug since they had not seen him for a while. Roswas? It took longer than I thought. Issei? Well, one managed to escape and we were looking for him for a long time and nothing. Astrid? The good thing is that nothing happened to them. Kuroka? You had fun, Lefei. Giving him a smile. Lefei? I don't know what you mean by fun, but I prefer not to know since I know what you are like. Alicia? It was boring if you weren't here. Ingvald? Yes it was. Issei? Well, that's what we all want to do. Kuroka? Let's go have fun. Office? That's all you think about. Issei? Who are you? Lefei? It's you, Office Ama. Office? Yes. Issei? What happened with that change? Office? When we went out they treated me like a child. Issei? I see. You look well. Office? Thank you, and what do we do? Issei? Well, as Kuroka said, we should go have fun. How about we go to the fair? Astrid? Sounds good. Alicia? I know a great place. Issei? Where? Alicia? In the United States, a place called Six Flags. There are many places where you can have fun. Issei? Sounds great. Then I'll call the rest and have them come here so we can leave. So go get ready. Everyone nodded and went to their rooms to leave. At that Issei takes out his cell phone and the first thing he called was Serafal. Serafal? Issei, you were already done when you came back. Issei? I recently came back and well I wanted to know if you weren't busy. Since we plan to go to the United States to a place called Six Flags. To have fun and well what you say. Serafal? Of course I'll go. Where do we meet? Issei? In my house. Then we'll see you in a bit. I have to call the others. Serafal? I'll tell Grafia, Gabriel, Griselda, Penemu, Yasaka since they're here. Issei? Great, see you. But that the call ended. Gabriel? What will you tell us? Serafal? Issei invited us to a place so we could have fun. They want to go. They all nodded since they had time without having fun. Issei spent a few minutes making some calls until he finished and little by little they began to arrive until they were all there. Issei? They're all ready. All? Yes. Issei? And how will we leave? Office? I'll take care of it. Creating a dimensional gap for everyone. Issei? Now that I think about it, we didn't tell your group Lefei. Lefei? It's okay, don't worry. Besides, they don't like this kind of thing. Issei? Okay. Irina? And how did it go? The Matarasu? It didn't cause you any problems, Yukin. Aphrodite? You went with her. Issei? You already know her. Eride? Sure. Not much since she is somewhat reserved, you realize that is not the case. Lefei? And it was. At first she didn't speak at all and little by little he began to say some things. Until that happened. Athena? What happened? Griselda? What did you do, Issei? Issei? Because you think I did something. They all stared at him and he just looked away. Who knew? That answers our question. Kuroka? Tell us what happened. Lefei? Issei killed a dragon with just one blow and caused great destruction in his wake. Again they all saw Issei. Issei? I had great regeneration so I had to use something. Gabriel? What kind of destruction did it cause? Lefei showed them a hologram of the place. And they were all surprised by what they saw. Grafia? You didn't hold back from what I see. Penemu? If any of us receives that blow, there wouldn't be any dust left. Issei? Don't think you're exaggerating. Tsukiyomi? Issei, you fought a dragon that was close to the level of a celestial and you say we are exaggerating. Issei? Maybe. Kuroka? And you would beat Office. Issei? Of course she's not a goddess. Athena? Has fought against gods before. Astrid? Like my father. Alice? And me. And you won me over without much effort. Penemu? The list is long, Issei. Issei? Let's leave this topic. Today is fun day. Aviana? Evading the topic. Issei didn't respond to that and rather said something else. Issei? How long until we get there? Office? A minute, maybe less perhaps. Isaka? Let it be less so we know more. Serafal? I'm for it. They all accepted. The only one who was not in favor was Issei. Penemu? Well then what else happened? Lefei? Well, she started talking to us more when Issei fought someone called Lucina Lucifer. Serafal. Wait, Lucifer. Lefay. He is Vali's relative. But from what I saw, only she knows about him and Vali doesn't know about his existence. Amaterasu. Great, more problems and how she is. Lefay. Well, he has the same attitude as Vali. Hiroka. They think they are the most powerful. That pride will cause their death. Ingvald. But Issei already beat them both. Arena. Now you are his target, Issei. Issei. The last thing I want is more problems, but with them I don't think it can be avoided. Gabriel. Don't worry, you have our support. Issei. Thank you. A few minutes passed and the talk continued until they reached their destination. It was night and they could see the lights of the place and it was very beautiful. Issei. What a cool place. Aphrodite. Very nice. And what do we do first? Issei. Well, I invited everyone. After calling them all, I called here and made a reservation at a hotel not far from here. Roswis. You were planning to stay. Issei. Well, we won't always be available. It's better to enjoy the moment. Enemu. For how many days? Issei. For 3 days. So, sorry if I didn't inform you before. Tsukiyomi. Okay. Besides, we've had a lot of work these days and it's good to have a little distraction. We'll just call to let you know we won't be available. Issei just nodded and most of them made some calls. Amaterasu. Issei, it's no problem if 2 more people come. Issei. Of course, the more the better. Amaterasu. Okay, thank you. Minutes later everyone had finished their calls and a few more minutes 2 people arrived. Issei. Yukon and Benzaten. Yukon. I told you we would see each other very soon. Issei. And it was sooner than I thought. But I'm glad. Benzaten, how it went. Benzaten. I'm glad you remember my name. And it went very well, thank you. Issei. Well, what do you want to do first, go to the hotel or have fun? Arena. Better to go to the hotel so we can change into something more comfortable. Issei. Okay, let's go. At that point the entire group left the place where they were, drawing a lot of attention along the way. Chapter 74. The group entered the large hotel. Receptionist. Good evening. Issei. Thanks to Lefay I can understand better now. Thank you. Lefay. No problem. Issei. Well, I made a reservation in Issei's name. At that point the receptionist checked her computer until she noticed that she had reserved an entire floor and she was surprised. Receptionist. You reserved an entire apartment for 3 days. Issei. That's right. There is some problem. Receptionist. None, sir, wait a few minutes, I'll go get the cards. Issei. Thank you. At that Issei turns around and could see the girl's surprise. Issei. You know that I do a lot of missions and well, I saved some money since I don't usually use it. Serafal. We could have helped. Issei. Okay, besides, you have done a lot for me and now it's my turn. Seconds later the receptionist arrived with the access cards and the large group went to their rooms. Issei. See you downstairs in a few minutes. Everyone nodded and went to their respective rooms so they could change and go have fun. Issei just changed his shirt and went down to the reception to wait for the group. About 5 minutes passed and the first to get off was Roswis. Issei. It was faster than I thought. Roswis. I didn't have much choice so this is fine. Wearing shorts and a blouse. Issei. You look good as always. Roswis. I say the same thing. Issei. Well, I don't know what you're going to want, whether to go eat first or go to the attractions. Roswis. I think they'll decide the fun first. Issei. Sounds good. Minutes passed and little by little the others began to arrive until they were all there. Issei. Then let's go. Which one do you want to get on first? Serafal. On the roller coaster. Looks great. The others accepted since it caught their attention too. Since everyone had accepted, they went straight to the place since Issei had been in charge of buying VIP passes. Alright. How did you get them so quickly? Issei. I want you to have fun so don't worry about it. Giving everyone a smile and they just nodded. When they reached the front they took their seats. Issei along with Serafal sat in front. When it started to move everyone was excited until Office reached the top at great speed. They all screamed without exception. When it was over, most of the girls were sitting on the floor. Serafal. Come on, it wasn't that bad. Griselda. You're kidding, right, that was terrifying. Arena. I'm for it. Issei. Even your Office. Office. I was caught off guard but it won't happen again. Aphrodite. We've barely arrived and they already want to leave. There is a lot of fun ahead. Yukon. It would be better to separate because if you go with us you will suffer. Athena. I like that idea. Amaterasu. So where do we meet? Tsukiyomi. At the hotel in 2 hours I think that would be enough. Isaka. He likes that idea. Issei. With that said, we'll see you for dinner. Serafal along with Yukon took Issei by the arms and took him to another place. At that point the girls went to have fun in other, less extreme places. Issei along with both black-haired girls got on many dangerous attractions, but not so dangerous for them. They were walking until they passed a place where target shooting was taking place. Issei. How about we go? They both nodded. When they arrived, they each took a gun and began shooting at the ducklings that were moving. After a while of trying, neither of them had succeeded. You can. They're cheating, clearly I hit 2 and nothing. Sirafal. Calm down. It's not that big of a deal and it's just a game. You can just let out a sigh. And then Issei touched both of their shoulders and gave them 2 small stuffed animals. Issei. It was the best I could get. Scratching the back of his head with a smile. They both just hugged her stuffed animal and gave it a smile and then a hug. 2 hours passed and they went to the hotel where most of them were already. Without wasting time they went to the cafeteria where they sat at several tables with only 4 people. Issei sat next to Benzaten, Grafia and Leviana. Issei. How was it last? Benzaten. It is a very nice and fun place. Grafia. The truth is I haven't gone out to have fun in years since I've always been busy with my work. Leviana. It's nice and I also didn't have much for fun, I indulged a lot in training. Issei. I understand you, I spent many years training non-stop. And that's why I don't know some things. Benzaten. But now you can do all those things. Issei. Sure but first the most important thing. Grafia. And that would be. Issei. End this war so I can have my last days in peace. The girls just looked down. The others could hear their talk and couldn't help but feel sad. Issei noticed how the 3 who were with him were doing. Issei. But don't worry, that's still many years away. Leviana. That doesn't help much you know. Issei. Let's think about the now and not the future. We will see that in time. Benzaten. Issei, I can tell that you are trying very hard and you don't have the entire load on your own. There are people to help you carry it and I am included. Issei. I appreciate it. Leviana. Well, leaving that topic behind. What will we do tomorrow? Issei. There are 3 options to continue with the fun now. Or go to the zoo or the swimming pools. Leviana. Wow, this place has everything. Issei. Yes, that's why we chose this place. Grafia. But we'll have to buy swimsuits. Issei. Sure. But well, we'll see about that tomorrow. The night passed happily, everyone had dinner and went to their rooms to rest and start the day with a lot of energy. The next day everyone was having breakfast and at the end they were at the reception. Issei. Well, we'll do it. Serafal. We talked about it and we wanted to go to the pool. Aphrodite. So we'll go buy some swimsuits. Alicia. We'll see you at the pool, save us places. At that they all left, leaving Issei. Issei. Well I'll go buy something too and look for a place. Leaving the place. It didn't take him that long to buy something since he chose the first thing he saw. And he went straight to the pool where he caught the attention of all the women. Since Issei had a well-built body with few scars, that attracted more attention. After a few minutes all the girls arrived. But not before drawing the attention of every man in his path. One who was near the pool even fell into the water because he was so surprised to see such beauties. Issei. They all look very beautiful as always. Ingvald. You look very good too. Issei. Well, reserve a big place so you can rest after swimming a little. Isaka approached Issei and gave him a kiss. Isaka. You're such a sweetheart. As attentive as always. Issei. I hope everyone is happy. So let's have fun. Reaching out. Just like the girls. Some men got upset when they saw that. More of a group when recognizing some girls. How is it possible that she smiles at that disgusting human? Don't worry anymore, we'll make him disappear when he's alone. And so we took the opportunity to get closer to her. The group left the place with a smile as they had a plan in mind. Chapter 75. It was all fun for the group as they had some time without a break. Aphrodite. It feels good to have a break once in a while, doesn't it? Serafal. I won't deny it, it feels good. Irina. Hey, where is Issei? Athena. You know what he is like. He doesn't like to be still. He went with some to the zoo. Enemu. He looks like a child acting like this. Astrid. But he's cute when he has that smile. Tsukiyomi. You're right. They continued their talk. Hours passed and the group met again, only this time in a restaurant a little away from the noise. Issei. And how they are having it. Gabriel. You know the answer very well. Isaka. It's been a good vacation, it's a shame it ends tomorrow. Issei. We won't always be able to escape from work. Grafia. But yours is the most dangerous. Issei. That's how I play. But I'm not complaining since I can help. Issei was going to call the waiter, but the girls felt like they put up a barrier. Issei. Something's wrong. Roswis. Someone put up a barrier, it must be an enemy. Issei. I see. Getting up from her seat like everyone else. Seconds later some people came out. Amaterasu. Latsu, what are you doing here? Latsu. I came for you dear. You think I was going to let you go so easily? Amaterasu. How did you escape from prison? Latsu. I have friends. Another person leaving. Buchan. So it was your Ryo. Ryo. What can I say, I also have a purpose for coming here. Lefei. That would be it. Ryo. Come for our women. Also when I found you I saw how you smiled at that human. I've been with you for years and you never gave me that smile. And you give it to a filth. Buchan. You have no right to say that. Latsu. We can continue this conversation later but first. Snapping his fingers where hundreds of soldiers appeared. Ingvald. You joined the Cow's brigade. Latsu. I was always with them. Ryo. Guys you can have fun with all of them. But don't touch two people. This will be very good. Since she is the most beautiful angel in heaven. I want her. Gabriel had a serious face upon hearing that. There are many beauties gathered together. Plus this Yusaka-sama I always dreamed of this moment. Her daughter is not bad either. We change later. Issei. They finished saying stupid things. Have more human respect. You don't know that we are more superior than you. Issei. I don't care. But what I do care about is the nonsense they are saying in front of my face. Having a serious face. At that she turns around looking at Lefei. Issei. Lefei, can you do a spell so that no one can escape from here? Lefei. It won't be that complicated, give me a minute. Issei. Thank you. And that she sees the rest. Issei. Sorry the vacation ended badly. They didn't end the way I thought. Alicia. It's not your fault, it's theirs. Since they don't know who they messed with. Amaterasu. Don't worry, it's their fault. Alright. They want war, that's what they'll have. And Zayton. We will help, don't worry. Issei. Thank you. Turning around and going on the attack. An unsuspecting demon went against Issei. But he didn't notice Issei's speed and he was killed with a blow to his face, destroying his face completely. The other soldiers were shocked to see that. Issei. No one will get out of here alive. I swear. Giving them a murderous look. The other girls also went on the attack, not wanting to leave all the work to Issei. Additionally, some were upset by the words they said. Ryo. That boy is not as weak as you said. Latsu. There are more of us than they are going to get tired sooner or later. Plus I have this. Taking something out of a pocket dimension Ryo was surprised to see it. Ryo. How did you get it? Latsu. It wasn't that easy, but with this everything is possible so don't worry. Ryo just nodded with a smile since they had that. Minutes passed and the soldiers dwindled rapidly. Since for some girls it was not difficult to kill them since they were very weak. Office. They ruined everything. Killing one without any compassion. And with an empty look full of hatred towards them. The soldiers were scared when they saw that cold look towards them. Some tried to escape but could not since Lefei closed all types of exit. Latsu was getting upset his plan wasn't going the way he wanted since he thought most of the girls would be weak. Since she didn't know them. But it was quite the opposite since they were very strong. Tsukiyomi. Both of them are not safe from this. They will be punished. Ryo. Yes, of course, if they manage to catch us. Latsu. If you are not mine you will not belong to anyone. Amaterasu. What are you planning? Latsu just gave him a smile and took out a small pocket dimension dagger. Amaterasu didn't understand what he was but he was a person. Office. Be careful, that dagger contains Samuel's blood. They were surprised to hear that. Amaterasu. How did you get that? Latsu. I made a deal. But that does not matter. But this I will be able to finish off anyone, even God. She quickly went against Amaterasu. Dodging the attacks was the only thing she could do since with just one rose she would be dead. Issei, upon noticing this, killed a fallen nearby and went to her to help her. When she arrived she kicked Latsu, sending him flying away. Dropping the knife. Issei. You're fine. Amaterasu. Yes, thank you. Ryo saw the dagger and took it. And he quickly went against Issei since she hated him so much for getting along with Yukin. Ryo. Damn. Issei turned around and hit Ryo in the stomach but he took advantage of the approach and scratched him in the eye. She wanted to put the dagger into him but she didn't have that much strength since it hurt her. But he was satisfied and with a smile. Ryo. Hahaha you're dead. Issei felt the pain in her eye and began to scream in pain as she held her injured eye. When the girls saw that, they were scared since they knew what that poison was capable of doing. They all quickly went to Issei so they could help with whatever they could. Amaterasu. Issei. Issei. It's burning, this hurts. Seraphol. What can we do? She said it all scared. Someone was going to speak, but Ryo started laughing. Ryo. He'll be dead soon. Say goodbye to him. Yukin was very upset. She had found the perfect man and now she sees him in that situation. She approached Ryo and without any hint of kindness, she killed him. Latsu was surprised to see that since she thought they would just arrest them. She wanted to leave, but Yukin approached him too. Yukin. You too. It didn't end as she was very upset and she just killed him too. As she did so she turned around and quickly went to the others. Athena. How are you? Isaka. He was unconscious, maybe he fainted from the pain. Office. I don't understand one thing. Lefei. And that would be office. Because his body hasn't disappeared. That's what causes that poison to destroy your entire body. But Issei is fine. Only his eyes bad. Arena. It means that he has no salvation in his eyes. Office. I don't know. NMU. There's no time to investigate. We have to take him to Grigori's hospital. Office. Come on. Created a dimensional gap where everyone left. Not before destroying all the bodies. When they arrived at the scene they called the doctors and they quickly went to help. Minutes passed until one arrived. Doctor. He's fine. NMU. But how? But he passed with the eye of him. Doctor. We gave him a phoenix tear but it didn't work, that poison doesn't allow it. Alicia. That means he won't see anymore. Doctor. He will only see with one eye. But he will be fine. Astrid. We can see it. Doctor. Of course he's awake. Without wasting time they went to the room and when they arrived they saw Issei sitting with a bandage over his right eye. Issei, seeing them all, gave them a smile. Issei. I'm fine. Griselda. We are glad to know it. Office. Issei, you don't feel a strange change. Issei. Besides, I lost an eye. Know the truth. Office. I see. Lefei. Issei, you were wounded with a dagger with very dangerous blood. With just one rose he kills anyone, destroying his entire body. But you only lost one eye. Issei. I was lucky maybe. Laughing a little. The girls didn't know what to say since he acted as usual. Kuroka. Issei, maybe you don't realize the situation, you lost an eye. Issei. It was for a good cause. I wouldn't mind losing an arm or a leg. As long as I can help them I'm fine with them. Leviana. Don't say stupid things. Issei. But it's the truth. Astrid. We'll come to see you tomorrow. Plus the doctor told us that you could go. Issei. When you come back can you bring me something to cover my eye please? Gabriel. Don't worry, I'll do it. Issei. Thank you. All the girls left the place. Roswis. Because he acts like that. Kuroka. Maybe he doesn't want us to worry anymore. Griselda. Seriously, we'll let it stay like that. Alice. Nothing can be done. Isaka. Let's go rest, it's been a long day. The others nodded and left the hospital. The next day the group returned first thing in the morning and upon entering the room, Issei was sitting on a couch reading a book. Gabriel approached him and gave him what he asked for. Issei took it and went to the bathroom. Seconds later he came out of the bathroom with a patch and his hair down. Issei. How do I feel? Kuroka. It really looks great on you. Better than I expected. Some nodded since Kuroka was right to look good. Issei. Well, let's go home. Started walking to the exit. Chapter 76. The group returned to the house and then separated as the vacation was over. Issei went to the living room to sit for a moment. The girls who lived with him also went with him. Astrid. Issei, something's wrong with you. Issei. Not because you ask. Astrid. You look downcast, maybe it's because. Issei. It's not because of my eye, the truth is it doesn't bother me, it's just that, well, I thought the vacation ended badly again. First the camp and now this. Roswis. It's not your fault Issei, this happened maybe by chance. Alicia. There will always be people who like to bother. Lefei. So don't think about that. Issei. You're right. I have to distract myself and I have a way to do it. Ingvald. Let it not be that. Issei. Yes that's it. I'll go on a mission to distract myself. Kuroka. Iris alone isn't like that. Issei. Yes. You guys rest and you know me, I can't stay still. So well Lefei, send me to the Underworld please. Lefei. Okay, I can only tell you to be careful and if something happens, call us, yes. Issei just nodded and gave a smile to all the girls. At that Lefei teleported him to the Underworld near Surzich's mansion. When he was in front of the door, the guards recognized him and quickly let him in. Issei walked through the hallways until he saw Grafia and decided to scare her. She approached him silently, tickling her waist a little. She quickly turned around and was about to hit the person who did that. But seeing Issei was surprised since not long ago they had separated. Grafia. Issei, what are you doing here? Issei. He was bored and well he decided to come here to do a mission. Grafia. I should have guessed. Issei. Besides, you also just returned to work. Grafia. I have to catch up too. There is too much to do. Issei. I know, it's time to get back to action. They talked a little until they reached their destination. Surzich was going to greet Issei, but when he saw the patch on his eye he was surprised and Issei gave him a brief explanation. Surzich. I understand. But what are you doing here, you shouldn't be resting. Issei. Maybe but I'm bored and well I wanted to go out a little to distract myself. Surzich. You never change. And well, if that's what you want, that's fine. So that you don't go so far you can go to a city that is about 3 hours away by train. Issei. Sounds good. Surzich. Have the coordinates. Giving you a map with directions. Issei. Fine, I'll leave right now. Surzich. Hope you don't wait for your partner. Issei. I'll go alone, and they must be busy too, and I don't want to bother them. Surzich. Okay and good luck. At that Surzich created a magic circle that sent Issei to the human world. Issei. Well, it's time for action again. Stretching his arms and heading to the train station. Hours passed and Issei was about to reach his destination. Issei. From what I read, this group is kidnapping humans and the reason is unknown. I just hope it's not like that time. After a few minutes he arrived at his destination. When he got off the train he looked for a taxi to take him to the nearest place so he could change later. While in Cao. Astrid. I hope Issei you don't have any difficulty. Hiroka. Trust him. He will do well. Roswis. Do they have a way for Issei to get his eye back? Office. There is one. All the girls stared at him. Office was going to speak, but 4 people arrived, 2 angels, a fallen angel and a demon. Enemu? What's wrong with the silence? Ingvald. Office told us that there is a way to make Issei get her eye back. The 4 also saw Office waiting for her response. Office. It's telling Baka Red to make him a new body. Lefei. It refers to Great Red. I don't think that's possible since I don't think he would do it. Griselda. Also, I don't think I would do that just for one person. Office. Then I have no other idea. Maybe something will appear later. Gabriel. What matters is that Issei is fine now. Serafal. And speaking of him, where is he? Roswis. He left on a mission a few hours ago. Griselda. What? Maybe he is crazy. Alicia. We tried to stop him, but you know how he is. Enemu. We just have to wait for him to come back safely. Hiroka. And why did you come? Enemu. We all wanted to go to dinner, but since he's not here, what do you think if we go? Astrid. It sounds good, plus we were going to make dinner. Serafal. You didn't mean to order dinner. Astrid. Yes. At that point the group left the house. While Issei was walking through the forest. Issei. Because always a forest, plus I've lost count of how many times I've said that. And to make it even more annoying, I sound like a crazy person talking to myself. He was going to continue with his monologue, but his stomach started growling. He stops his step and looks for some branches to make a campfire. Having all the preparations, he took out a small stove and began to heat water to make something quick. After a few minutes he was already satisfied. Issei. It's already late. I'll have to continue early tomorrow morning. He put out the campfire and climbed a tree where he was lying. Issei. It's a good sight. Watching the night landscape. The next day he continued on his way without problems until he heard some voices not far from where he was. Issei without wasting time went to the place. When he arrived he noticed how 2 demons were eating a human. Issei got upset when he saw that and caught his attention. Issei. You guys. They both turned around and saw Issei with a serious face, but they didn't take much notice of that. Demon 1. Wow, but more food came towards us. Demon 2. Better because the truth is this human was very skinny, he didn't have enough meat. Issei. They're done. Putting his backpack on the ground and taking an attack position. The demons laughed when they saw that and one moved quickly trying to hit Issei from behind. But he easily intercepted him and gave him a few hits. The other demon also went to the attack and was received in the same way. They both got up not very happy about what they did to them. Demon 2. I will make you suffer for having touched me as a human. Issei continued with his neutral face and called them with his hand. They both went to attack, only this time they used spells at the same time to kill him faster. Issei evaded everything and at the same time went on the attack, kicking one in the leg, breaking his foot. The demon just screamed in pain. The other, due to being distracted, received a blow to his face, destroying it completely. Issei was approaching the other demon, and upon seeing him he wanted to escape in a magic circle, but Issei did not let him since he broke his other leg. Issei grabbed him by the neck and lifted him up. Issei. I'll only say it once. Where are your colleagues? Demon 2. Rot. Issei. What did I tell you? Squeezing its neck, the demon tried to escape, but it was impossible to do so. Issei. And now. Demon. They are a kilometer from here, you can see them since they are in an old cabin, but it is just a facade. Issei. Thank you. Squeezing the demon's neck until he detached himself from his neck. Issei. That was because of the person they killed. Releasing the body and going to the place. Upon arrival he found the cabin and began the attack. Some tried to escape, but Issei didn't let any of them go. Some begged for mercy, but Issei remembered the corpses and made them suffer even more. When he finished he destroyed everything and changed his clothes since they were full of blood. And he resumed his way to the house. After a day of traveling he stopped to rest at a hotel. He was able to reach his destination. But when he got home he got a surprise when he entered. He saw the house destroyed. Without thinking twice he went to look for his companions but nothing. Until he saw a magic circle appear from which they emerged with some injuries. Issei. What happened here? Better yet, who did that to them? Lefei. It was the hero faction who took off Isama. They came out of nowhere and we couldn't defend ourselves in time. Astrid. Thanks to Alicia stopping them, we were able to find a way to get out since they had us locked up. Roswis. It wasn't that easy. That magician they have is very strong. Issei could only see their injuries and how tired they looked. He just clenched his fists because he was so upset. He let out a sigh to calm down a little and not worry them. Issei. You know where I took her. Alicia. I feel a slight aura from her. And she went to the Underworld. But. Issei. But. Ingvald. We have been informed that the Underworld is under attack. All the allies went to help. Issei. Because I was not informed. Roswis. It couldn't be done because of the rush, we're sorry. Issei. Okay. You go to a safe place and rest. I know it's rude of me to say this, but you can send me there. Astrid. Don't say that. I still have some magic, I'll send you there. Issei. Thank you and take care. Approaching each one and giving them a hug. At that he turned around with a serious look and just one thought. Issei. I hope you are all well. And if someone hurts them I will have no mercy against that person. Clenching his fists and being teleported to the Underworld. The girls went up to the room so they could recover a little of their magic and be able to go help a little. Chapter 77. Upon arriving at the Underworld, Issei was surprised to see how the place looked like it was just a big mess everywhere he looked. He put that impression aside and started running to be able to help those who will need it. While he was doing it he heard an explosion not far away there. Without thinking twice he went there. After a few minutes of running he reached his destination and saw how several heirs were fighting with members of the Cow's brigade and some monsters. Issei quickly went to help, killing anyone who crossed him until he saw a familiar person. Issei. Ravel, how is the situation? Ravel was surprised to see Issei there, but he was happy. Ravel. We have been fighting for several hours, these enemies are not decreasing, several of my family's soldiers are tired. Issei. And how are you and your family? Ravel. Not as tired as them, we can still continue. Issei. I see. I will help with what I can. Turning around and going on the attack. Some unsuspecting ones went against Issei. For his part, he had no time for games, so he used much more force than normal and killed whoever crossed his path, just leaving several pieces lying there. It stayed like that for several minutes until they left since they were afraid of Issei. Issei. Ravel, I have to go. I wish you luck. Ravel. Okay and thank you very much. Before you leave, have a tear from Phoenix, I hope it helps you. Issei. Thank you. Leaving the place at great speed. As she ran she slowed her pace as he was entering the capital of the Underworld. Issei. This is a disaster. Looking to the sides. She continued on her way until he heard several screams in the distance. When he arrived he saw a bus full of children. The professor was fighting to protect them, but he looked tired. Issei went to help by killing those around them. Issei. How are you? Teacher. Okay now. I was already running out of magic. Issei. Go to a safer place. I will help you get there. Teacher. Thank you. At that he calls the children to start walking. Along the way they encountered several enemies. Issei had no problems with them. When the children saw how he killed them, they were surprised and happy. Issei just gave the kids a smile so they wouldn't worry. Minutes passed and they managed to leave the city. Issei. From here they will be fine. Teacher. Thanks for the help. Issei. No problem, but you know where the others are. Teacher. Notice how most of them headed north. Issei. I understand and thank you. Starting to run and taking a big jump to reduce the distance. While he was doing it he saw a person and was happy. Issei. Griselda. She turned around and gave Issei a smile. Griselda. How did you get here? Issei. Astrid sent me. Because they didn't inform me. Griselda. You were also busy with the situation. Issei. I know. This very ugly one has destroyed everything in its path. Tell me and the others. Griselda. They are helping the rest evacuate. Issei. And how do you feel? Griselda. Good. They are not very strong, but the quantity is something else. Issei. Yes. But hey, let's help others. I have a feeling this is going to be a long day. Griselda just nodded and they both left. Killing anyone who crossed them, there were more of them and they did not decrease. Hours passed and they still couldn't find any more companions. Issei. Where the hell do so many come from? Griselda. The person who had the idea of attacking the Underworld may have been preparing for a long time. Issei. I think so. Griselda, if you are tired, tell me, I don't want you to overexert yourself. Griselda. I'm fine. Thanks to your help I have been able to save more of my energy. Issei. I'm glad. This attack on the Underworld may mean the start of the war. Griselda. So. Issei. Very hard days are coming. Getting up from the ground just like Griselda since they were resting a little. Issei. But don't worry, I'll do my best so that day doesn't come. Starting to walk. Griselda. You won't be alone Issei. You never will be. She said it in a low voice and starting to walk too. While they were doing so they heard several explosions and they both saw each other and nodded and went to the place. When we got there were several fighting, some of whom were known. Issei without wasting time went to help and after a few minutes everyone gathered. Issei. They're fine. Irina. Yes and I'm also glad to see you. This is horrible. Leviana. The situation is getting worse and worse. Issei. I know. But we can't leave it like this, we have to help with whatever we can. Who knew? How did you get here? Issei. Astrid sent me here. Who knew? I understand. Furthermore, when we found out what happened, the war had already started here. Issei. I know. They were a bit lazy, but I told them that they will stay to stand out. Who knew? It's better this way. Issei. And where is Yusaka and the others? Who knew? They are giving orders to distribute rescue equipment for civilians. Issei. Good. Well I'll go help too. This is getting worse every time. Irina. We will go with you. Issei just nodded and they left the place, leaving the rest of the group. Issei. Any idea who planned this attack? Leviana. The most likely one is perhaps Rizavam. He is the one who most wants to kill the current demons and change the city. Issei. Then we have to look for him so that all this ends. Irina. It won't be that easy. Issei. Because. Griselda. That man only passes by hiding. It is not very easy to locate it whenever we manage to find it. That guy had already left the place. Issei. I see. They continued on their way until they reached a building where there were several injured people. They helped them get out, some who were under some rubble and others with their injuries. When they finished, they told the place that they would have to go to be safe. Night came and the group stopped to rest. Leviana. It's been 2 very long days and this is not over. Irina. I know. How long is all this going to last? Griselda. At the moment only low-level soldiers have emerged, little by little some stronger ones will emerge. Who knew? I just hope the others are okay. Issei. And how was it for you? Issei. Well it wasn't a big group and they didn't have many important things in the place, but I still destroyed it. Griselda. As always. Issei. What can I say? I don't like to leave traces that a fight happened in that place. Leviana. Speaking of which, you don't look tired at all. Issei. Issei. Well, I haven't had much to do and since Griselda is weak right now, it can be easily killed. But later, much tougher enemies will come and I have to be ready. Irina. Don't go on the attack alone. Remember this battle is not yours, it is everyone's. Who knew? You must also have difficulty fighting with only one eye. Issei. I feel the same way. But leaving this topic aside. You guys rest, I'll be on guard and I don't want any objections, okay? The girls just nodded since they would have the upper hand and also felt a little tired from fighting so often. Chapter 78. It had been 1 more days and things were getting worse and worse. Issei. Where it is and searching in various places. Irina. Don't worry, you should also know that she is very strong. Issei. I know but she would have already escaped. Furthermore, the situation is getting worse and worse. Leviana. Issei, you should also rest, you haven't since you arrived. Issei. I'm fine. I just want this to end as quickly as possible. Griselda. But you can't do it all by yourself. Remember there are more people fighting there too. Issei. I know. The group began to walk until they heard several roars. Who knew? What was that? It was frightening. The hologram was projected on that. Griselda. What is happening, Michael-sama? Michael. We have problems and very serious ones. Issei. What's happening? Surzich. 13 monsters have appeared, 12 of them are giants that measure about 100 meters and are capable of creating monsters smaller than themselves. And the other is bigger and stronger. Issei. Where they are. Surzich. You are the ones furthest away. The others are already heading there. Serafol. The first group that arrived informed us that they have great regeneration and durability. Azazel. All those monsters are heading to Lilith's capital. I know they are tired, but Ajuka left to find a way to stop them. Surzich. I already sent my entourage to support you. Serafol. We'll go later since things are bad around here and we have to take care of things. I wish you luck and take care. Ending communication. Issei. Let's go. The girls just nodded and left as quickly as they could. While they were going they came across several enemies, but they had no time for them so they killed them. After 30 minutes they arrived at their destination and were surprised at what they were like. Issei. Grafia, how is the situation? Grafia. They are a big problem and they defeat our people easily. It's like they know our weak points. Issei. I see. They informed me that they are very resistant than so many. Grafia. Too much. They regenerate in seconds. If we continue like this we ran out of magic in a short time. Issei. For now they are evacuating the civilians so we have to stop them as much as we can. Grafia. The monsters attacking us are Bandersnitch and Jabberwocky. So be careful the most with the Jabberwocky, it is the most dangerous. Issei. I will. You take care of the others and I'll take care of that. Griselda. Be careful. Rafia. If something happens, call us. Issei just nodded and left the place. When she arrived she was surprised again. Issei. I look like an ant next to you. Iberwiki. And you are. Issei. So you can talk. Who sent them here? Iberwiki. Our creator. But you don't deserve to know his name. He began to fly and already in the air he spat a large puff of fire hitting Issei squarely. The others were scared when they saw that because they saw that Issei didn't even move from the spot. When the smoke cleared, there was Issei in the same place. Issei. It wasn't bad, but it was nothing. Taking a big leap and hitting the Jabberwocky in the face, causing him to fall to the ground. The Jabberwocky got up from the ground with an annoyed face and went all out against Issei. Issei didn't want to be left behind too, so he went on the attack. The Jabberwocky spat out a large amount of fire again, but Issei still continued forward until he reached it and hit him in the face. Issei. If it didn't work the first time, much less the second. Jabberwocky. What are you? Perhaps you are a divine being so that my flames do not affect you. Since even the gods are affected. Issei. I'm a little better than that. I am an ordinary human. Jabberwocky. Stop joking. I killed a human with just a flick of his wings. Issei. I don't care if you don't believe me. The annoying Jabberwocky flew higher. Jabberwocky. If that doesn't work, maybe this will kill you completely. It might even destroy the entire city, but it's worth it. Issei just listened until he noticed a large fireball forming, but it was larger than normal. When he finished it he threw it to Issei. Issei. If that thing hits the ground it will kill everyone. And I don't want innocent people to die. With a serious look he crouched down a little and took a big leap, completely destroying the great fireball. But Issei did not stop there and continued piercing Jabberwocky's stomach. Those who looked at that had their eyes wide as they saw how he destroyed it without much difficulty. When falling to the ground, it was noticeable that Issei's arm was a little red and how the Jabberwocky was recovering. Jabberwocky. It wasn't bad. But you must know that we are going to win this fight and the reason is easy since we can fight for hours or days and you have your limit. More so since I can notice your injured arm. Issei. Stop being stupid and you think this little injury is going to stop me. I will never give up and I promise that I will kill you along with that other thing. Taking a breath and letting it out he began to run towards the Jabberwocky. The Jabberwocky defended itself against Issei's every attack, but each time he did so he lost a part of his body. And he regenerated her instantly. Jabberwocky. Are you stupid? I told you. He didn't finish as Issei hit him hard on the jaw, separating it. Issei. And I told you to fall down. Taking a jump back. And understanding the fist sending a great attack towards the Jabberwocky. Destroying everything in its path and taking some of the Bandersnitch with it. When the smoke cleared, great destruction was seen, but Issei was still serious and walked towards where he was. The Jabberwocky was hurting and was regenerating only slower this time. Jabberwocky. What's happening to me because it doesn't work? Issei. You wanted to hurt my friends, you should know that I won't let you do such a stupid thing, right? Jabberwocky. Ha 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 ha. Issei. What are you laughing at? Jabberwocky. If I'm a monster, what are you then? Issei did not respond and approached the Jabberwocky and opened his chest. The Jabberwocky only screamed in pain. Issei took his heart out of his chest and destroyed it. Little by little the Jabberwocky was fading with a smile. Jabberwocky. See you around. And when that day comes I will make you suffer along with the others and you must know that there are things stronger and more terrifying than me. Issei's back was turned. Issei. Then I will be prepared for that day. Jabberwocky. You will suffer. At that he completely disappeared. Issei. I don't care what he has to suffer. While he looked at his hands full of blood. Issei. As long as they are fine, nothing else matters to me. Starting to run at high speed towards where the others were. When he arrived he went to where Leviana was. Issei. Leviana, you look bad. She goes rest. Leviana. I'm fine, it's just that these things don't die with anything. Issei. I'll take care of it. Leviana. You just fought with that giant thing, go get them to heal your hand, it looks bad. Issei. I'm fine, don't worry. Leviana. Please go. Issei just let out a sigh and left, but when he was far enough away he went somewhere else so he could help the others. Chapter 79. Rafia. Issei, what happened to the Jabberwocky? Issei. It's history now and let's leave that aside as the situation is. Rafia. For now everything is fine since we have been able to contain them. Issei. I can tell Surzich has a great team. Rafia. Yes they are. Issei. If something happens, call me, I'll go help the others. Rafia just nodded and with that Issei left as he noticed that everything was under control. When he reached another side he came to fight Irina along with other people. Issei. Be careful. Running at great speed and moving Irina away from an attack that was about to hit her back. Irina. Thank you for saving me. Issei. Be more careful. Do not get distracted. Irina. I know, but Zenobia was with me. But she was focused on her battle. Issei. So the Gremory group also came. Irina. Yes. Issei. Then let's also help. There is too much to do. At that they both went to fight with the Bandersnatch. The others who went to help had a hard time killing them since they used a lot of magic in their attacks. Issei. Sererg, long time no see. Sererg. Same thing. The bad thing is that we find ourselves in a bad situation. Issei. Yes. Well, we'll talk later. Going on the attack. Hours passed and the 12 Bandersnatch were only 6 left, but most of them were tired and they used a lot of magic. Who knew? I don't think we can continue. I'm tired. Griselda. The reinforcements will arrive shortly. Plus we have to fight, there are civilians nearby. Issei. Kanu and Irina, you go and take the civilians. Irina. But. Issei. Please Irina, this is not the time to be a hero, I can tell you're tired and I don't want them to get hurt. Irina. Okay. Kunu. I wish you luck. Riaz. And since when are you the leader here? Issei. This is no time for nonsense. Riaz got upset and approached Issei. Riaz. Ami, don't talk to me like that. At that Issei turns around and slaps her, causing Riaz to fall to the ground. Issei. Don't you see the situation we're in? In case you don't know, we are being attacked by those things and you worry about who is the leader. Maybe you are crazy. Asami. Issei, calm down, yes. Issei. If you're not going to help, you better leave. Hero. And you think we listen to you? Issei. Do whatever you want, I don't care. Leaving the place. Leviana and Griselda went with him. Leviana. Issei wait. Issei. Yes, what happens? Leviana. You're upset, aren't you? Issei. A little, but I more or less knew that someone would say those words. But hey, I'll go with Grafia if she has a plan. Griselda. We will go with you. Issei just nodded and the three left the place. Issei. Grafia, any idea on how to finish off the rest? Grafia. Ajuka-sama called us not long ago and the quickest way to kill him is to do an attack altogether that hits him in the chest. Issei. It doesn't sound so easy to be honest. Grafia. I know, but it's the only way and we only have 6 left. Issei. But I won't be able to do much. So well, I'm entrusting it to you. Leviana. And what will you do? Issei. I'll go look for office. Griselda. Be careful. She gave him a hug and then she also gave him a Leviana and Grafia. At that Issei left the place to continue the search. While he searched he killed enemies and helped civilians. Hours passed until he left the city and was in some mountains. In the distance he saw a great light and quickly went towards it. When he arrived he saw how Office was being pierced by a spear in her abdomen. Issei. Office. She saw where she was called and gave a small smile to Issei and she slowly disappeared. Cao Cao. You were very late Issei. Starting to laugh. Issei moved at great speed and kicked him in the stomach, sending him flying. Issei ran towards him and kicked him in the face again, causing him to cross mountains because of how strong he was. Issei. I won't forgive you for this one. Cao Cao. The last thing was said shouting. Cao Cao left where he was because of some small wounds that were healed and gave a smile to Issei. Cao Cao. Thanks to her my plan is going to work, although I had to make a deal with Hades to lend me Samuel for a while. Issei. That will be the last thing you say. Cao Cao. And you think I'll let you touch me this time? In Kyoto I trusted myself but not this time. At that she inserts the spear into the ground and begins the chant. Cao Cao. Oh spear. The true holy spear that pierces God. Suck the ambition of the king of domination sleeping within me and pierce the gap of blessing and destruction. You. Announce the will and become a radiance. Releasing a lot of power. Cao Cao. Consider yourself dead. Moving at great speed, appearing behind Issei, hitting him in the ribs with the spear, sending him flying away. But she didn't stop and went against Issei still in the air and pinned him to the ground. Cao Cao. It doesn't end like this Issei. I have to show who's boss in this world. Issei. By making you bad. Cao Cao. The method does not matter since winning is everything. Issei. I see. Making his fist backwards and punching the air. Cao Cao was going to say something, but she felt something hit her stomach. I spit out a little blood. Issei. This has just begun. Starting to walk. Meanwhile the others were already finishing up the last ones. Leviana. This wasn't easy, but we finally finished. Griselda. Yes. At that they felt a great amount of power coming from the mountains. Griselda. I don't like this. Leviana. It shouldn't be Issei either. Grafia. Girls, let's go see what's happening and leave someone else in charge. Griselda. Come on. Taking out her wings like Grafia and Leviana, she used a spell to fly. After a few minutes of flying they arrived and saw the place in chaos. And how Issei was fighting with someone. Leviana. That's Cao Cao. Griselda. The kidnapping of Office Ama. But where is she? Grafia. Maybe that's the reason why Issei doesn't look very happy, look at her face. They both saw Issei's annoyed face. Griselda. It is the first time I see him like this since I previously saw him serious in battles. All in battle. Cao Cao. Because you don't die. I have great power and you have nothing as it is that you resist so much. Issei. I have a purpose. Hitting Cao Cao in the face, sending him flying. He got up from the ground. Cao Cao. Maybe it's because of those women who are with you. Maybe you're stupid. You belong to very different worlds, they will live for years and not age while you will die slowly and they will be disgusted and they will leave you. Issei had his eyes lowered. And the three girls noticed that but didn't want to interfere in their fight. Issei. That's destiny. Do you know something? Looking up with a calm face. Issei. I am not an extraordinary person, I am just an ordinary man with simple ideas. I have led a simple life and perhaps most likely my name will be forgotten, but I feel like someone who has had success and achievements in life. I have loved with all my might. The soul and the heart and that for me is more than enough. I know that sooner or later I will leave this world, but I will leave happy because I will have loved and also seen their smile. The three girls cried when they heard that and wanted to go to him, but they had to endure it. Graphia. No one could forget your name Issei. So many things you have done are not forgotten. Griselda. If one day you leave this world, I will leave with you. Cao Cao. Nice words but who cares about that? You don't know the suffering I've been through. Those supernatural beings killed what he loved most. Issei. And that's why you have to kill everyone just for one. There are also innocent families. Cao Cao. You don't know anything about my childhood, it was disgusting. He went from family to family and one day he decides to escape so he can take revenge. Issei. That's what you call disgusting. You escaped from a family that perhaps loved you just because of something stupid. You don't know what it's like to have a disgusting childhood. I was abandoned at a young age with no money at all. And like a child I was going to defend myself, but you know I still got ahead, I worked, trained and studied. I never had the childhood that others had. I walked through the park and looked at the happy families, well when I got home I was alone. But when I met the girls I decided to take care of them and ensure that nothing happened to them, that is my purpose in living. Cao Cao. They'll leave you, you're an idiot or what? Leave them and see. Issei. I won't. Because if I go back even one step from all the oaths and promises I made in the past, they won't mean anything. And if I dare to do that, I will never do the same thing again. Cao Cao. That means defeat. Issei. That's enough to keep me from moving away. Cao Cao. Even if you die. Issei. I prefer death. I made a promise in the past and I will never leave it behind. Cao Cao. I see. Then it's your end. Perine Karatana. Launching a huge attack Issei just got into an attack position and ran towards Cao Cao's attack. Graphia. Issei, don't go, that's dangerous. Issei didn't listen to what she said and went on the attack. The Ling Cao's ability is not without taking a bit of damage to his body. As he crossed it he hit Cao Cao in the stomach. Issei. I won't give up. Cao Cao. I used the best skill I had. Because it didn't affect you. Issei. Because I'm not ready to die yet. Cao Cao. I see. Heading up and attacking with the spear. Colliding with Issei's fist causing a large wave of wind from the collision. They were like that for a good moment. What no one had realized was that it was forming like a gap in the air thanks to the shock wave. Issei continued to defend and attack, destroying part of Cao Cao's armor. Cao Cao gave Issei several wounds, no one resisted the blows. Cao Cao. Die. Aiming at the head, but Issei took the tip of the spear in his hand as he bled. Issei. Not today. He hit Cao Cao with the spear and hit him hard in the stomach, breaking his armor completely and spitting out a lot of blood. Cao Cao. Again. This cannot be possible, I have the most powerful Longinus and you have nothing. Issei. You better go rest. He was about to hit him, but not as Cao Cao was teleporting away with a smile. Issei was going to go after him, but it was too late. He just watched as he disappeared. At that, the girls went down to Issei with a smile since they wanted to talk to him. But then the crack that had formed quickly expanded where Issei was. He was surprised and tried to run, but it was too late. Griselda. Issei. She said it scared when she saw how Issei was being caught. Issei. Don't get close, this is danger. Graphia. But. Issei. Please. Aviana. Issei, if we do that, you'll leave. Issei. I'll be fine, don't worry. I know you heard everything I said and you know I never break a promise. Griselda. I know Issei. But we want you here. Issei. I'll be back I promise. Giving them a smile as he is swallowed whole by the portal. The girls just cried when they saw that, but Graphia recovered quickly. Graphia. I know you are sad, but we must go to the leaders and report this, maybe they will have a solution. Griselda. You're right, let's go. Wiping away her tears, the three took flight to where the leaders were. Chapter 80. The girls went as fast as they could with the leaders, even though they had little magical reserves. When Leviana arrived she opened the door quickly and the leaders stared at them. Leviana. Azazel, we need your help, it's very important. Azazel. You'll have to wait. As you can see we are in a meeting about this attack. Grafia. No time is about Issei. Everyone paid attention to Grafia since she was someone they all knew. Isaka. What happened to him? She got hurt from a mission. Griselda. Issei was fighting against Cao Cao and at the end of the fight he opened like a black crack that absorbed Issei. Everyone was surprised to hear that. Serafal. And what will we do? Grafia. That's why we want Azazel to come with us to see if he can find a trail. Azazel. Sure, let's go right now. Getting up from his seat as did the other leaders as they appreciated Issei. Minutes later everyone went to the place where Issei disappeared and Azazel began to analyze. At that moment the other girls arrived to those who were in the human world, resting since Griselda informed them. Kuroka. Tell me it's a lie. Leviana. That's what I would like but it's true. Right now Azazel is looking for some trace. Minutes passed and Azazel decided to speak. Azazel. There are still slight traces of what he took from Issei. Enemy. But something happens that is. Azazel. It will be difficult to find it, I don't know how to do it. Enemy approached Azazel and grabbed him by the neck. Enemy. You have to find it, it doesn't matter if you don't sleep you have to do it. Azazel. I will do my best but it will take time. Enemy was going to answer, but Gabriel took her hand. Gabriel. The good thing is that we still have hope that he is okay, so wait yes. Enemy. Okay. Auden. I hope you are well where this boy is. Little by little everyone began to leave the place, leaving only the girls. Someone was going to speak, but then a dimensional gap opened and a black-haired woman emerged. Lefei. Office Ama. Office. Something happens to bring them all together. Griselda gave him a little explanation. Office. I see. But you know what he is like. Leviana. From what I know, you were murdered by Cao Cao. Office. I sent half of my power to another dimension and when he destroyed my body with Samuel's blood, I managed to release a small snake so that it would go find the rest of my power and fuse. Lefei. I'm glad it's okay. Amaterasu. And what will we do now that Issei is gone? Alicia. Find some way to distract ourselves. If we are like this we are going to go crazy. Athena. How to do some missions. Buchan. Or train. They all nodded and left the place with the same thoughts and that was that they hoped he was okay. Meanwhile, before entering the portal, Issei had closed his eyes and opened them and found himself in a place between black and red. Issei. Where am I or rather what will happen to me? Letting out a sigh he stayed there floating since he had nothing better to do. Issei. Maybe I'll spend my entire life locked up here. But I have to come back, I promised the others. I looked at the sides and couldn't find anything, it was floating around looking for a solution, but couldn't find anything, so it was a few hours until it gave up. Issei. This is impossible, I can't find anything. And if I try to leave this place by going through those walls, I don't know what would happen to me, maybe I'll die or appear in the same place. Closing her eyes to think about the idea of him. Issei. It's all or nothing. Floating to the wall and closing his eyes to see what would happen. Out of nowhere she felt a big breeze on her face and opened her eyes and saw how she was falling into the sea. Issei. Oh what do I do? Where the hell did I come to fall? Maybe I'll come home, just somewhere else. At that she shook her head. Issei. Now is not the time to think about that. Noticing how he was about to fall. At that she closed her eyes, suddenly falling into the sea. What was that? Everyone stopped what they were doing and saw the place where Issei fell, since he did not belong to any side. At that Issei came out of the water letting out a big sigh. Everyone present was surprised to see Issei. Issei wiped his eye a little and looked around and was surprised at what he saw. Issei. Who are you or rather what is happening here or where I am? Who are you? Or what you are? Issei just raised an eyebrow at that question. At that, a group pointed their weapons at him and Issei didn't know what to do. Issei. Wait, how they float, it looks great. What kind of boat are you? Issei. Ship, what are you talking about? I don't think he's telling the truth. Maybe they're just lying, catch him and take him to find out what the Prince of Wales will do. They just nodded and took Issei and took him away from the place. By then the enemy had already left. Issei looked around and could only see water. Issei. Where are we going? Your prison. Issei. We can talk about it. He did not respond and continued on his way. When they reached their destination they went straight to the large mansion where the others were. Issei just looked to the sides and saw many ships and only girls. I don't take much importance to the last one. They walked a little until they reached their destination. When we entered there were two people on the couch waiting as they had been informed. The person carrying Issei sat him on the other couch and they stayed there for a while. Issei. Well, where are we? In our operations center. And who are you? Issei. My name is Issei, a pleasure. You act very calm despite the situation you find yourself in. Issei. Well, if I get upset, things will be worse, right? You are intelligent, but your voice is very hoarse in addition to your face shape. You are a strange girl. Issei. Excuse me, but I'm a man, not a girl. The what? Issei. A man. We don't know what that is. But putting that aside, how you got there. But a question. Issei. Go ahead. What happened? You have a scar on your eye and a lot of damage. Issei. I had some fights. I spent several days fighting and well, this is the result. I see. Well, where are you from and what were you doing there? Issei. I don't know if you're going to believe what I'm going to say. What are you saying? Issei. Well, I was fighting with someone when a portal attracted me and well, I arrived here. You were right, it's hard to believe. But seeing your face may make me believe a little. Issei. And what happened to me now? You will be under surveillance until we see what to do with you. Issei. I see. I'm not going to cause you any problems, I promise, and if you need my help, I'll give it to you. I don't think you can do much. Issei. I'll try. At that point they called a hideout and took him away. Will you believe in him? Time will tell us. Issei was taken to a room and left there locked. Issei. What will happen to me? Chapter 81. It was night and Issei was processing what had happened since it was strange to the place he ended up. Issei. I never thought I would end up in a place like this. Also, there was another world. Letting himself out, he approached the window and began to look at the stars. Issei. I hope the girls don't worry. That's when the Prince of Wales arrives with another person. Issei turns around while he was fixing his hair since he didn't have a way to fix it. One was a little surprised to see him because of how different he was and the injuries he had. Wales. She'll be watching you. I didn't ask for this and I have better things to do. Wales. You are the strongest and only you can Enterprise. Enterprise. And what should I do? Wales. Just keep an eye on him. Issei. You know you should talk more quietly so I can hear what you're saying. Wales. I'm glad about that. Now you know you can't escape that easy. Issei. And where I would go, I don't know anything about this place. Enterprise. And if I have a mission, what will I do? Wales. He will go with you. Enterprise. And how will that be since as you know he can't float and that's strange. Wales. Someone else will also go so that he is always by your side. Issei. I promise not to cause trouble. First of all, you can get me some clothes because as you saw, these are almost useless to me. Wales. It would be a bit difficult since there are no clothes for you. But I will have some identical to the ones you have made. Issei. Thank you very much. Wales just nodded and left the room leaving only two people. Issei. Well, I will be under your care. And well, first of all, my name is Issei, a pleasure. Enterprise. I am Enterprise, an aircraft carrier. Issei. I see and well, I can ask you a favor. Enterprise. What? Issei. We can go outside and explore a little, I don't like being locked up for so long. Enterprise. You know I didn't want this, I have better things to do. Issei. And you think I wanted to be here too? I was with my teammates in a big fight and by mistake I ended up here. Enterprise. Hence the injuries. Issei. If I'm excluding the one with the eye, that's going to take some time. I used to have a patch, but I lost it. Enterprise. And what happened to your eye? Issei. I protected someone close to me and I didn't mind giving an eye. Enterprise. I see. Then follow me. Turning around and opening the door. Issei obeyed and they both left the house and began walking through the city. Enterprise. Because your voice is like that. Issei. What do you want me to say? That's who I am. Hey, can I ask you a question? Enterprise. Yes. Issei. Because I don't see another man here. Enterprise. A man. What are they? Issei. It's serious. I am a man, there must be others like me. Enterprise. Not that I know of. Issei. What kind of place did I end up in? Enterprise. But that doesn't matter right now, the most important thing is to defend ourselves from the other nations that attack us. Issei. Like those two Kitsune girls from earlier. Enterprise. Yes, they are strong and belong to Sakura's side. Issei. I see. At that point they reached a hill and stood looking at the ocean. Issei. I know we barely know each other, but I can see sadness and concern in your eyes. Enterprise. I don't know what you mean. Issei. Yes, you know and you also know why I know. And that's because I had that look before, it's frustrating, no. Enterprise. Almost no one knows about my life. Because I would have to tell you. Issei. Well, you're right about that. Maybe more later. Well, it's late, how about we go? Turning around and starting to walk. Enterprise. You are a strange person. She said it in a whisper and then started walking too. The next day they were both on the coast until they received the signal for help. Enterprise. This is bad, it's her. Issei. Who? Enterprise. My little sister is in danger, I have to go. Issei. From what I heard your ship is not in a fighting condition yet. Enterprise. It doesn't matter, I'll go. At that point 3 more people arrived. Where are you going, Enterprise? You must know that you are not ready to fight. Enterprise. It doesn't matter. Going to the sea to go to help. Issei. Shouldn't we go too? They told me your situation, I will take you. Issei. Thank you. At that they both left while the other 2 girls followed Enterprise since they were faster. Issei. Thanks again. And my name is Issei. No problem, and my name is Cleveland. Issei. I notice that you worry about her. Cleveland. Although she looks serious, she is a good girl who cares about her comrades. Issei. I realized that recently. Cleveland. They told me something about you, but it's hard to believe the truth. Issei. I'm in the same situation. Seeing people using ships as armor, that's cool. Cleveland. In your world there is no such thing. Issei. There are the ships, but they are normal. And people, everyone has the ability to do so. Cleveland. It's interesting. Besides, they still don't give you clothes from what I see. Issei. There are no clothes that fit me, but they told me they would make me something. Cleveland. Great. Minutes passed and they reached their destination, and Issei was surprised by the situation in the fight and how she was looking at planes. And as Enterprise summoned its own planes to go on the attack. Issei. I know it's a bad time to say this, but it's great. That's when everyone was gathered while Enterprise fought. They arrived just in time. Cleveland. It was because of Enterprise she wanted to get there quickly. And who is she? Issei. I'm not her, I'm him. And my name is Issei. I see, I'm Hornet. Issei just extended his hand to her and she took it. At that point they continued watching the fight in both and noticed how there were several enemies. Issei. She won't last long. Cleveland. She is very hurt if she continues like this. Issei continued watching until she noticed how her bow was breaking. Issei took several steps back. The girls, seeing that, did not understand what she was doing until they saw him run at a great speed that surprised them. This is where your legend ends. She was about to kill Enterprise with her katana, but Issei arrived and kicked her in the ribs, breaking several of her ribs. After that Issei fell to the ground and Enterprise was a little tired since she didn't have that much strength. Issei. Enterprise, resist, the others will come. Enterprise. Because you helped me. Issei. You have a family to protect. Giving him a smile at that, Enterprise was going to respond, but a maid arrived. The enemies decided to retreat as reinforcements arrived, and one of them was Queen Elizabeth and the maids. As a group they arrived where Issei and Enterprise were fainted. Cleveland. Hey, that was dangerous. Issei. I had to do something. Hornet. Still, that was cool. You are very fast and with one kick you sent that woman flying away. At that point everyone left the place to help the injured. Upon arrival they took Enterprise to her room to rest and Issei to hers, since she was not yet free to leave. The next day Enterprise was waking up as someone opened the curtains to let in the light. Good morning. Enterprise. Who are you and what are you doing here? I'm Belfast, a light cruiser, a pleasure. Enterprise. And what do you want? Belfast. Nothing, but I was ordered to take care of you. Enterprise. I don't remember much about what happened. Belfast. Someone came and helped you, it was a black-haired girl with a scar on her eye. Enterprise. You talk about Issei. What did he do? Belfast. I only saw how he kicked your rival and then you fell unconscious. Enterprise tries to remember, but the only thing that came to mind was Issei's smile and that seemed strange to her. She quickly put that aside and left the room heading for the exit, without caring about anything in her path. Chapter 80. Enterprise walked through the streets while she ate an energy bar. She was on her way to see Issei since she had the order to continue watching him. Upon arrival she entered the room without knocking and saw how Issei was doing sit-ups and was a little surprised at how developed her body was and that she had several scars. Just then Issei notices her presence and gets up from the ground. Issei. Hello Enterprise, you shouldn't be resting. Enterprise. I'm fine, this is common in wars. Issei. I understand. Enterprise. I thought you'd say something more like the others. Issei. Well, I ended up in a worse state at the end of a war, so I can understand you. Enterprise. I see. At that Issei's stomach growled a little and Enterprise smiled a little. Enterprise. Come on, I'll take you to the dining room. Issei. Great. They left the room towards the dining room. When they arrived there were several people. They went to eat their food. Issei. And you won't eat anything. Enterprise. I already ate an energy bar. Issei. Eat something, you two will be uncomfortable if only I eat. Enterprise. Good. Taking a plate and looking for something to eat. Once they had everything, they both went to a table so they could eat to their heart's content. Enterprise. Now that I remember how you got to where I was. Since she was a little apart from the group. Issei. I ran to gain momentum and then I just kicked your rival while we waited for reinforcements. Enterprise. Aren't you afraid of death? Issei. Sooner or later we are going to die and if I die protecting people. Enterprise. I see. Issei. Even so, don't do anything stupid right now, and you can't go to battle since your ship is very damaged. Enterprise. I know. Issei. Also, tell me, can I go see your ship since I haven't seen it up close, only from afar? Enterprise. Sure. After finishing eating they left the dining room heading to where the ships were. And when they got there they went up to hers and Issei was surprised at how bad it was. Issei. Wow, it's in a bad state, I thought it wasn't that bad, but this is a lot. Enterprise. I must fight to end this war. Issei. I can tell. That's when 3 people arrived. Issei. Hello Hornet, how are you? Hornet. Issei, what are you doing here or what are you doing with my sister? Issei. Well she has to watch me so I can't do much. Hornet. I see. Let me and I'll introduce you to them. This is Hammond, a colleague of my team. Hammond. Hello. Hornet. And she's Vestal, a repair ship. Vestal. My pleasure. At that Vestal approaches Enterprise and she gives him a bow. Vestal. I told you to be more careful, one day this won't have a solution and you know it. Enterprise. My duty is to fight. At that she leaves the place without taking much notice and Issei has no choice but to follow her. Issei. You know you should be nicer. Enterprise. I'm just telling it like it is. We are in times of war. They both reached a fort and took a seat there. Issei. There are times when you shouldn't think about wars but about other things like spending time with your family. I can tell how your sister cares about you just as you care about her. Enterprise. You don't understand the weight I have on me. I must protect my family and the people here. Issei. Maybe I understand a little where I come from, I get involved in a fight that doesn't belong, but if I don't do anything, many people will get hurt, including my friends. Maybe I know a little about how good you feel, even though I don't have a family to protect. Enterprise. Something happened to you. Issei. They just abandoned me. Enterprise was going to respond, but they both heard footsteps and got up. Enterprise. Something is being offered to you. Belfast. Unicorn would like to speak to you. Enterprise was going to refuse, but noticed how the girl showed her head behind Belfast's back. Issei. You won't have a choice, ha. Enterprise. Neither do you since you're coming with me. Issei. Well I already knew that. Belfast looked at that curiously as she noticed Enterprise talking calmly to Issei. After that the 4 of them arrived at a beach where the other girls were playing. Belfast. It's important to relax because they don't go there. Enterprise. We just got attacked, this is not the time for this. Belfast. You have to forget the bad times. Issei. She's right so let's go Enterprise. She was going to refuse, but Issei took her hand and led her to the sea. When they arrived they both entered. Enterprise didn't want to do any of that, but Issei wouldn't let her go that easy. After a while Issei let her free of her and she went to the seashore and sat down. Unicorn. Thanks for last time. Enterprise. It was my duty to help the others. Unicorn. But still thanks. He said it with some shame. After that she went with the others. While Enterprise watched as Issei was swimming with a big smile. Enterprise. Where do you get so much energy from and why you always look so happy? She said it quietly to herself. Minutes passed and it started to rain and everyone returned to the house. After that they received a distress signal and a group went to the rescue. Hammond. I didn't want to get wet. Cleveland. Sorry. Enterprise. Maybe they're lost. Cleveland. What are you doing here? Your platform is not yet repaired. Belfast. He always goes out to fight like that. Cleveland. Issei, why didn't you stop her? Issei. If he doesn't listen to those in high command, you think he'll listen to me? Cleveland. You're right. Now that I realize how you can. Issei. It was Vestal who built me this so I can float, it's also great, no. Now I can help a little more. Cleveland was going to respond, but they had already reached their destination. At that Enterprise went ahead and was faster, Issei without any other option went too, and they arrived at a ship where there were 2 girls, and one was hurt. Enterprise. Don't worry, my companions will arrive very soon. Jump into the sea since there was a ship that still worked. Enterprise. This way. The Nave was about to fire an Enterprise to attack, but she couldn't, her aircraft carrier was still useless. That's when Issei arrived. Issei. Don't be stupid. You know you can't do something, leave it to me. She didn't give Enterprise time to respond as Issei went at the ship and the ship was about to shoot at Issei, but he made a big jump and then fell on the ship with his fist outstretched, splitting the ship in half making a huge explosion. Enterprise was surprised at how she did it. Seconds later Issei was climbing out of some rubble and went to her. Issei. You are not alone Enterprise, trust your companions okay. Enterprise. How did you do that? Without the need for a weapon. Issei. Train is the only thing I can tell you. Minutes later the others arrived and took the 2 girls who were a little tired. Dawn came and they left in their boats. Enterprise was watching the view of the sea with Issei until Belfast arrived. Enterprise. Something's up. Belfast. You're brave and I like that, so allow me to be by your side. Bowing. Belfast. I want to see how far you'll go. Enterprise didn't know what to say at that. Issei started laughing. Enterprise. That's so funny. Issei. You didn't like being with other people and now you will always have someone around. Enterprise. I don't want this. Belfast. I also want to know what you are capable of, Issei. Issei. Wait, what? Now Enterprise was the one laughing, only quietly. Issei. Hey, stop laughing. Enterprise. You did it first. Issei. Because I thought it was just you. Enterprise. Yes, of course. Belfast just looked at that with curiosity as he noticed Enterprise's smile when talking to Issei. Since she didn't want to bother him anymore, she left the place. Chapter 83. Enemu. Azazel, how are you going with that? Azazel. Hey, we haven't slept in days doing this thing. You know how difficult it is. Enemu. I don't care. Azazel. Go with the others so you don't bother me all the time, I'll let you know when this is over, okay? Enemu wanted to respond, but she'd better leave so she can finish faster. Roswis. How are you doing? Enemu. They're doing the most they can. Seraphil. It's been several days since Issei left, the truth is it's strange that she's not there. Alice. There must be another way. Leffe. There's just that one. We can only hope that Issei is okay. Ingvald. You know how strong he is. So let's not worry. Tsukiyomi. Maybe he's helping someone right now. Isaka. As always, helping without measuring the consequences. Sam just nodded since it was typical of him. While in the other dimension. Enterprise. Because you do this. Belfast. So that you have good nutrition and I also want to see the human part of you. Enterprise. I'm not hungry. Belfast. It will help you have more strength. Enterprise. I'm fine and I have to go get Issei. Belfast. You like that person. Enterprise. I have to take care of him so I have no choice. Belfast. You can ask someone else to watch you. Enterprise. No, I won't. Getting up from his seat and heading to the exit. Belfast followed too. Enterprise. How are the two girls from yesterday? Belfast. They are. Pointing to a food stall. Enterprise. Aren't they tired? Belfast. They have a lot of energy. They both continued on their way until they reached where Issei was staying. Issei. Hey, you took longer than usual. Enterprise. She wouldn't let me come. Issei. I see that doesn't matter anymore. Let's go eat, it's late. Taking her by the hand and leading her to the dining room. Belfast. Because she doesn't say anything when he carries her like that. That person is interesting. Going with them too. Upon arriving at the dining room, Issei forced them both to eat with him. Issei. It looks like it's a nice day, isn't it? Belfast. Yes it is. Issei. How about you teach me how to use those things yesterday as soon as I succeed and I should be prepared for when danger occurs. Enterprise. And how do you plan to fight without any weapons? Issei. Don't worry about that. I'll see how I manage. Belfast. You're too carefree. Issei. I don't like to think only about wars, otherwise I would become just as serious as Enterprise. Enterprise. Hey, you have the nerve to talk to me like that. Issei. It's better to be honest. Maybe you'll do something to me. Enterprise. If only my weapon was right I would put you in your place. Issei. We will never know the result, it's better if you don't believe it. Enterprise. You better wipe that smile off your face. Issei. And you better put one. So look. Approaching Enterprise and using her hands to make her smile. The other girls who were present were shocked since she was not afraid of Enterprise since they knew of her reputation. Enterprise removed Issei's hands. Enterprise. Don't do that again. Issei. Yes, whatever you say. And then you will teach me. Enterprise. It'll just be a moment. Issei. Great, and your Belfast will come. No. Belfast. I must always be by her side so I will go. Issei. Well, after finishing this, we're leaving. Minutes passed and the three finished eating and went to the sea. Little by little they taught Issei how to wear her shoes properly. Issei. Belfast, I need a favor. Belfast. Tell me. Issei. I want you to shoot me, I have to learn to dodge bullets and all that. Enterprise. You're crazy, and how do you plan to defend yourself? Issei. That's why I brought this staff. Enterprise. That won't do much. Issei. Well, I don't lose anything. Enterprise. Maybe your life. Issei. Come on Belfast, do it. She just nodded and took out her weapons, and Issei was in a defensive position. Belfast started firing the small bullets she had, and Issei started using her staff to deflect each bullet. Issei. Come on, that's not true at all. They were both surprised by what happened. Belfast. Good. Then get ready. She started firing more bullets than normal, and Issei could keep up with her. Issei. That's all you have. Belfast just gave him a smile and fired more and faster. Enterprise was surprised at how Issei deflected every bullet without any hitting him. After 5 minutes of being like this, Belfast stopped. Issei. Well, it wasn't bad. Belfast. How did you do that? It's almost impossible to do. Issei. I just focused. Enterprise. Because that staff was not destroyed. Issei. It's because I only deflected the attacks, I didn't destroy them. That's why you see several scratches. Enterprise. I see. Then you know how to use the cane. Issei. Well, I also know how to use the sword. Belfast. I can get one for you. Issei. That sounds great. And you can also get me an eye patch. Belfast. Because. Issei. Maybe they don't like seeing me with this scar. Belfast. The truth suits you well. Enterprise. Looks good on you. Issei. Thank you, but not everyone thinks the same. Belfast. Okay. Issei. Well, now that I can stop, I can go with you to the battles. Enterprise. It's dangerous. Issei. I'll tell you something, Enterprise, I've lost several battle companions before my eyes and I promised myself never to see that again. It is very painful. So I'll watch your back. Enterprise was going to answer him, but Issei was already gone. Belfast. He cares about you, he likes you. Enterprise. He's a strange guy. Belfast. I would say very optimistic. Maybe you can learn something from him. Enterprise. You also couldn't give him any scratches. Belfast. I went a long time without fighting. But seeing what he did, he felt that my power diminished. But I didn't use my entire arsenal. Enterprise. You think I could handle all that? Belfast. Time will tell. Let's better go, he can't walk around alone. Enterprise just nodded and they left the place to follow Issei. Hours passed and several were called. Wales. It's an emergency, some of our people infiltrated Sakura's territory and now they need our help, so we'll go look for them. Cleveland. When we left. Wales. The faster the better, so get ready. Enterprise. I'm ready. Hornet. Be thankful they managed to repair your ship a little. Issei. I'm ready, let's go. Wales. You can stay here. Issei. No, I'll go too. Belfast. This is less than I can achieve in a short time. Giving a katana to Issei. Belfast. It's not very resistant, but it's something. Issei. I'll take care of her and thank you. Wales. Well, underway. They all nodded and went out to sea and boarded their boats. After a few hours of travel they were about to arrive, but there was a lot of fog. Enterprise. Issei, why are you joining this battle here? You are a human, you should be with the others. We were made to fight. Issei. It doesn't matter that it's one, what matters is that you can do it. Besides, you are not a weapon. Since you can eat and sleep and laugh even from time to time and weapons don't do that. Enterprise. Here you will only have danger. Issei. Do you care about me? Giving him a smile. Enterprise. I just don't want unnecessary deaths. Issei. Don't pay attention to that. Besides, I'm not allowed to die yet. Belfast. How so? Issei. I made a promise a long time ago to take care of some people until the war is over. So I won't die until that war ends, maybe then I can sleep in peace now. Enterprise. And if you get seriously hurt in a fight. Issei. I will continue to get up until I defeat my enemy. As long as there is happiness, nothing is more important. One of the girls was going to respond, but they heard some cannons. Issei. It's time. They both saw Issei and were surprised to see her face without any emotion. Issei. See you later. Jumping into the sea and going into battle. Chapter 84. The war had started, several shots could be heard from both sides. Issei for her part was looking for the people they had to rescue, but nothing at the moment. Issei. This is not easy with so many shots, I don't know where to go. Seeing to the sides but nothing since the fog didn't help much. He was about to go somewhere else, but he heard several gunshots nearby and decided to go help. Going at a high speed and then jumping to avoid various debris. While the two maids were surrounded by the enemy. At that point the enemy shot and the two girls could only close their eyes, but Issei arrived in time with katana in hand and destroyed all shots. Seconds later Belfast arrived. Belfast. You arrived a little before me. Issei. I got lost. You decided to come to Belfast and with company. Issei. Who is she? Belfast. A very strong enemy is Prince Eugen, a heavy cruiser. Prince. You didn't come alone, but what a shame you brought someone who won't help you much and they are surrounded. Issei. I have a plan, I hope you can help me. Belfast. And what would it be? Issei. You escape with the two of them while I entertain them. Belfast. But you won't be able to beat them, they are very strong and there are many of them. Issei. Trust me, please go. Enterprise needs you. Belfast. It wouldn't be the other way around. Issei just denied. Issei. Go. Belfast. Okay, I hope to see you soon and I'll make a good meal when you get back. Issei. I'll be there. Giving him a smile. Belfast approached both girls and grabbed them and was about to leave, but the others started shooting. Issei stood in front of them, deflecting every shot with his sword. Issei. Now. Belfast jumped up carrying both injured girls. Prince. You have the courage to sacrifice yourself. Issei. Maybe so, but I'm not ready to die. Putting away his katana and starting to run very fast, he surprised everyone else. From one moment to the next, Issei was in front of a girl who gave her a big kick that sent her flying, leaving her embedded in a house. Prince. Kill him. All the girls started shooting. Issei took out his katana and deflected all the bullets as he ran. When he was around a girl, he would just hit them to knock them out. Prince. You guys can't do anything right. Starting to shoot. Issei deflected the shots. Prince, seeing that, got upset and launched a missile. When Issei saw it, he stayed still, and when he was about to hit it, he broke it in half, passing both halves over his face, and then they exploded. Prince. Who are you? We had never heard of a new boat. Issei. That's because I'm not a ship. Going towards her and punching her in the stomach. Prince only spit out blood as he resisted the attack. Prince. Because it hurt so much. I have never been hurt so much. Issei. You like to see other people suffer, but when this happens to you things are different, isn't it? Prince. Because you help them. Issei. They are good people and I have made some friends. Prince. You are someone strange. Issei. Maybe it is. At that, Issei dropped her into the sea since she had fainted. Issei. And tell me, Enterprise, did you like the show? Enterprise. How long have you known I was here? Issei. Since I saw Belfast, she is never alone. Enterprise. I see. And well, the other thing was good, you're very fast. I had a hard time keeping up with your speed. Issei. How about you get down from there and go with the others? Enterprise. You act like you're the leader. Issei. Maybe it's like that, hahaha. Enterprise under the state building near Issei. Enterprise. You change your mood very quickly. Issei. Maybe. Turning around and started walking. But he stopped her step and approached Enterprise while being close to her. Enterprise was going to say something, but Issei took her hat and left there. Enterprise. Hey, give me that. Issei. If you reach me, maybe I'll give it to you. Enterprise. You'll see. Starting to run after Issei with a smile on her face. At the end of the day, everyone was back since the mission had been a success. It was a new day and Enterprise was waking up. Belfast. Good morning, Enterprise. Enterprise. Good morning. Belfast. Breakfast is ready, come down quickly or else Issei will eat it all. Enterprise. She is already here. Belfast just nodded and after that they both went downstairs and saw Issei having coffee. Issei. You sleep a lot. Enterprise. Aren't you sleeping? Issei. Since I was little I got used to sleeping little. And tell me what you think of my clothes. Getting up from her seat and showing her a white shirt with a black jacket and black pants. Enterprise. Wait, those clothes are. She said it with wide eyes. Issei just put a big smile on her face. Issei. That's right, we're the same. Not cool, hahaha. While she adjusted the hat that she had taken off. Enterprise. I don't like that you walk the same way as me. Issei. Well, I'm sorry, you'll have to get used to it. Enterprise. I'll try. Issei. Now we are war companions so I will be in your care as well as your Belfast. Belfast. I say the same thing. Enterprise. Just don't get in my way. Issei. Whatever you say. And Belfast, the food was very good. Belfast. I promised him a good meal. Issei. And yes it is, and well, what will we do now? Just then Hornet arrived at his table. Hornet. Good morning, girls. Enterprise. Good morning. Issei. Good morning. I guess I'll have to get used to that. Hornet. Hey, those clothes. Issei just gave her a smile. Issei. Great, no. If you had seen the joy on Enterprise's face. Enterprise. That's a lie. Hornet. It would be very strange to see her smile. Issei. Don't believe me, then see this. Showing him a photo where Enterprise was smiling. Hornet took it and was surprised to see it. Enterprise quickly grabbed it and broke it. Enterprise. How did you take it? Issei. I am a magician. I will never tell my secrets. At that Hornet approaches Issei. Hornet. You have more. Issei. Sure, how many you want? Hornet. Great, give me 4. Enterprise. You're not saved from this, Issei. Getting up from her seat and wanting to go to Issei, but he ran out of the room. And Enterprise followed him. Hornet. With his arrival my sister has changed a lot. Belfast. She looks happier now. Hornet. How does Issei make it like this? I tried for a long time like other girls but nothing. Belfast. Issei always speaks the truth and annoys her often. Hornet. I'm surprised they made him a hat just like hers. Belfast. The truth is hers. Hornet. How is it possible? Not even I wanted to give him one. I admire you, Issei, as speaking my sister's heart. Well, you were both running along the sea coast until Enterprise couldn't take it anymore. Issei. What's wrong with you? Don't tell me you're tired already. Enterprise. I'm not very used to running on dirt. Issei. Then you should exercise more. Enterprise. Because you bother me so much. Issei. So you can change that attitude. So when I leave you will be someone happier. Enterprise. You're leaving. Issei. You know I don't belong here. There are people waiting for me and I have to finish my own war too. Enterprise. And when you leave. She said it with her eyes down. Issei. I don't know. Maybe today or tomorrow or the day after or a week or a month or years, who knows. At that she approached her and put her hand around her neck. Issei. That's why we're going to have fun. Enterprise just nodded and they both started walking. Enterprise thoughts. Because I wish that day when you leave never comes. My life wouldn't be the same if you weren't here to bother me. Chapter 85. Several were called to the meeting room. Enterprise. This is it. Observing a black cube just like the others. Issei. What is that? Belfast. It's what mermaids use. Whales. I can't believe they are united with the Siren. Issei. It doesn't make sense that they would gain by joining those Sirens. I think they are just chess pieces. Hornet. So they're just using them. Issei. It may be like that. They all stayed silent for a while trying to figure out what to do, but in the end they left it like that since they couldn't do much, just wait to see the result. During the day most of the girls took the day off to relax and have a good time. Issei for her part also forced Enterprise to have fun. Days passed and the war continued, neither side ceased fire. It was daylight and the fleet was ready to go to another battle. Issei. It's been very long days, don't you believe it? Enterprise. This is never going to end like this because of the wars. Issei. Everything has a beginning and an end, so don't worry about that. Belfast. Please do not act impulsively. Issei. You heard Enterprise. Enterprise. It goes for you too. Issei. It's true that Belfast is for her. Enterprise. Not for him. Belfast. For both. And get ready to start a great battle. They both turn around and see how far away they see the enemy's fleet. Issei. I never thought I'd see other kitsunes before. Enterprise. You know others. Issei. Yes, they are two people very close to me. But hey, before going into battle, be careful Enterprise, don't act brave, you're not alone. Enterprise was going to tell him the same thing, but noticed how several portals were opened. Cleveland. They are Siren. Issei. This will be more troublesome. Enterprise. Akagi. Akagi. Welcome to my Sea Azure lane. Issei. I'll say it again. This will be problematic. The enemy fleet began to move. Elizabeth. Forward my fleet. The ships began to move at high speed towards the enemy. At that point, both of them started shooting at each other and the war began. At the beginning, Azure Lane had the advantage at the beginning, but then the Sakura Empire fleet arrived. They all went against each other to fight. Issei. Wow, it's cool how those planes fly, don't you believe it? You. Now I remember you are that girl who kicked me that time. Issei. I'm tired of correcting, but I can't do much. You will pay me for this. Taking out the katana from her and going to the attack. Issei did the same and they both began to clash swords. You are not bad. But you still won't beat me. Starting to shoot. Issei deflected every bullet that went towards him and got closer to his rival. Issei. I don't have time for games. Moving faster and appearing behind her, hitting the back of her head and causing her to pass out. Issei. I hope you are careful Enterprise. At that she turns around and notices how Belfast is in danger. Moving as fast as she could she managed to get to her. Belfast. Issei get out of here. We won't be able to handle all those weapons. Issei. I never leave a partner, much less a friend. Akagi. I've heard a lot about you. That you have defeated several of our people without firearms. Issei. You joined the wrong side. Akagi. Winning is everything. But that doesn't matter as far as you get. Beginning to shoot, Belfast only moved to evade the bullets and Issei deflected the attacks with her katana. Akagi. You're not bad but you'll get tired very soon. Issei ignored him and started walking while he deflected the attacks. Just then he heard Belfast calling Enterprise and Issei saw how she was falling. Issei. Belfast go get her, I'll take care of it. Belfast. But. Issei. Go. She told him with a serious face. Belfast just nodded and left. Akagi. And you think I'll let you go so easily? Issei. Your enemy is me now. Starting to run while she moved the katana faster. Akagi. How can you do that? Issei didn't say anything, nothing continued until he was in front of her. When she kicked him in the stomach, sending her flying into pieces crashing into one of her boats. Enterprise had fallen into the sea. Enterprise. Now that I see you were right, sister, the sea is beautiful. At that she began to remember her entire life until she arrived at the moment she met Issei and how he changed her life. Enterprise. Issei. At that she closed her eyes and they saw a lot of memories that were not hers and she suddenly opened them having golden eyes. While Akagi was a little hurt and she can see how a golden column formed. No matter where you are, you will always be the Enterprise key. Annoyed Akagi went against Enterprise using her best skills, but in the end, she was no match for Enterprise who defeated her easily. Issei. You don't look very good. Enterprise. Me. Issei. Don't say anything, just rest yes. Enterprise began to descend from the sky falling into Issei's arms. Issei. For now everything is over. You can rest. Enterprise. I'm tired of this. Issei. Several are. But don't think about that now. Better rest and then we'll talk. Enterprise. Okay. She closing her eyes. Issei just let out a sigh and went to the ship where the others were. One night had passed and the next day the sea was a little frozen, but still with you the war. Only this time against the Sirens too. After a long war the enemy retreated and Azur Lane returned to his base to rest. Issei for her part could notice the change in Enterprise, but it was better not to say anything for now. Issei. You look more serious than normal, you shouldn't be with the others having fun. Enterprise. I don't have time for that nonsense. This war is not over yet. I don't know why you don't always take it seriously, you act like an idiot. Issei. Maybe. Enterprise. You can't help. This war is not your problem because if you leave, you are a. Issei. I know what you'll say and well, if that's what you want, I'll leave. Turning around and starting to walk. Enterprise, remembering what she was going to say, turned around but noticed that Issei was no longer there. At that she fell to her knees. Enterprise. What did I do? Holding his head. Enterprise. Because I said those things. They were all lies. I don't want you to leave my side Issei. Because I act like that. Releasing a tear. Enterprise. But in part it's better this way. Since you won't get hurt in the next fight. Getting up and leaving the place. While Issei walked through the streets. Issei. You act like this because of the pressure you put on yourself. Seriously, you're an idiot. Letting out a sigh. Issei. An idiot that I have to help no matter what. Night came and Enterprise was dreaming that she was in front of another person. She was going to answer him, but she woke up. Belfast. Good morning Enterprise, I hope you slept well there. Enterprise. Good morning. Getting out of bed and changing clothes. Belfast. Come on, it's time for breakfast. Issei must be waiting there too. Enterprise remembering that name she stopped what she was doing and remembered what she told him. Belfast. Enterprise let's go. She just nodded and hoped Issei was there so they could talk like before. But when she got to the dining room she noticed that she wasn't there. Belfast. How strange. It always arrives before. Maybe she fell asleep. Enterprise. Maybe. Taking the food from her and going to sit down. While both women were silent. The two felt uncomfortable without Issei's noise. At the end they left the place. The days passed and it was tranquility for the group, exactly for a person who hasn't seen it, since she said that to Issei. She pretended to have a serious face, but inside she was sad. Enterprise. What happened to me? Belfast. You passed out in the hallway. And that's because you stopped eating these days. Enterprise. Leave me alone. Belfast. I don't know what happened between Issei and you, but you better fix it, this can't continue like this. Leaving the room. Seconds later he entered the room again. Enterprise. Hey. Belfast ignored her and took her by the tie and took her to the dining room to eat. Belfast. What happened? Enterprise. What do you mean? Belfast. Don't be since that day you changed. Enterprise. I just remembered my purpose and that was to fight. Belfast. I'm talking about what happened between you two. You know I haven't seen Issei since that day. Better yet, no one has seen it. Enterprise looked up from her. Enterprise. What do you mean? Belfast. What you heard. Nobody has seen him these days. Maybe she left here. Enterprise. I see that's better. Belfast. If you're going to say that, say it with a better face, not a sad one. Enterprise. It's not your war. So you better go. Belfast was going to tell him something, but they heard a big explosion and they came out of the building and were surprised to see a mermaid there. Attacking the place. Several went out to attack where the siren led them to the sea and there he summoned her army and started another war. Minutes later, Enterprise arrived and all the others went to their attack positions and little by little they gained ground until the enemy withdrew from there. Belfast. You always arrive at the moment when we are in danger. Hornet. Yes, but where is Issei? It's strange that she wasn't here either. Enterprise didn't say anything and it was better she left the place. Minutes later the majority gathered in a room. Wales. They are attacking uninhabitable islands. Elizabeth. Maybe they want to scare us into giving up. Cleveland. So the previous attack was just a game for them. Elizabeth. It may be like that. I'll just say that a big fight is coming. No one could say anything since what she said was very shocking. Enterprise. We must fight once more, only this time it will be uglier. After saying that she left the room and the others also left to get ready. Minutes later they were all on their ships ready for war. Belfast. This will be more difficult than the previous ones. Enterprise. We must continue fighting no matter what enemy we face. Belfast. I couldn't say goodbye to Issei. Enterprise. Don't talk nonsense right now, concentrate. Belfast. I'm just telling the truth and you think the same too. But let's leave that topic for later. She is ready. Enterprise. Come on. The other girls took an attack position and were ready to fight the enemy. Supporting an old rival. Prince. We have some support. Azur Lane. At that point each side began to shoot. The Siren were a large number and had destructive power. Enterprise and Belfast were facing their rival who was a Kagi and another woman. And a great ship. Enterprise. This won't be easy. And we also have to stop that weapon, that thing that destroyed the island moments ago. At that Enterprise went on the attack to stop the weapon. But it was too late, the missile had already taken flight. What an evil presence. Enterprise boarded one of her planes to stop the missile. Enterprise was going to stop the missile, but a Siren appeared and wouldn't let her as she started shooting at it. Each time the missile got further away and Enterprise fought with the enemy until she destroyed all of her planes, and they were both falling. It seems that you lost Enterprise, you will no longer reach it. Enterprise. Don't be sure. Drawing her bow and shooting an arrow that tripled on the way and hit the missile causing it to explode. It is impossible. The explosion caused a large blizzard as the Siren and Enterprise fell into the sea. Enterprise was falling deeper and deeper into the sea. Before closing her eyes she saw a hand. After a few seconds she saw how the sun did not let her see the person who saved her, but little by little, she saw who she was and was surprised. Issei. You always think about problems. Enterprise. How did you get here? Or what are you doing here? Issei. I promised a long time ago to help you and that's what I'm doing. Enterprise. But I told you those things. Issei. That was nothing. Furthermore, I have heard those words many times and they do not affect me. Enterprise. Then why didn't you come back? Issei. I noticed that you needed time and well I gave it to you. Enterprise. You're a fool. It was a long time. You should have come back earlier, it was very strange if you weren't there. Issei. I thought it wouldn't be like that. Enterprise. Well yes it is. And I hope you never leave again. Issei just gave her a smile and Enterprise returned it since she missed him. Issei. Well, we have to go help, the battle isn't over yet, you know. Enterprise. I know we're leaving. At that both of them to the battlefield. On the Enterprise ship and everyone was happy to see her. And they were surprised to see Issei next to her. Belfast. At the best of times. Prince. It's that person who knocked him unconscious on that occasion. You're interesting. Enterprise then activated her bow and started shooting arrows, and the other girls also went to battle against the Sirens. Even Sakura's empire arrived and they made an alliance with Azur Lane. Issei. This is better not. Belfast. What had you done to yourself? Issei. I was exploring a little. Belfast. Enterprise was sad. Issei. Seriously. Enterprise. Don't talk nonsense. Going on the attack. Going against Akagi and minutes after a talk Enterprise helped Akagi since she was being controlled. After that the Siren left since they had nothing to do there. Then the empires came together again to have an alliance and peace was made for the moment. Issei. Not so peaceful. Enterprise. It's strange that this is over. Issei. And now what are you going to do? Enterprise. I don't know, maybe it will help the others since with this treaty there will be many changes. Prince. I finally find you. Enterprise. What do you want? Prince. I'm not talking about you. I talk about her. Aimed at Issei. Issei. Oh you are that girl. How are you doing? Prince. None of that you know you're hard to find. But I finally did it. Issei. And what do you need from me? Prince. Do you want to join me? I like you. Enterprise. You're crazy, he's with me. Prince. Yes, of course what you say. But he will come with me. Issei just laughed when he saw that. Issei. You won't say anything Belfast. Belfast. You have to let him have fun. This will not always happen. Issei. You have. I don't finish because near him I noticed that crack again. And I walked towards it until it opened. They both stopped arguing and saw that. Issei. I think the fun ends here. Enterprise. What do you mean? Issei. It's time to go home. It was fun to see you know the same as you. Belfast. But, Issei. I hope they can be happy. Take care of yourselves. Entering the portal giving the girls one last smile. Enterprise ran to catch up but was late. Enterprise. Because you're gone now. I do not want this. Trying not to cry. Belfast just had his eyes down and Prince didn't really understand what happened there. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.